Twitch is working, because the classic birch stream, scene changing and all that, Twitch is... Okay, there we go, okay. Hello and welcome to the LCK Discord podcast episode two, English. Today, Barbecue Birds, will be hosting with my co-hosts, Lord Herbs, / Power of Evil, Joe, / name I can't pronounce, and Guardian, who is also a kangaroo man. Today, we're going to start with some reflections and our predictions from the last episode, particularly the finals of the LCK. So, Guardian, how about we start with you in the finals of LCK? You seem pretty confident in the SKT for you last time.
First of all, I'd like to say sorry for giving false hope to SKT fans for that 3-0. I thought that, the Rook Kaz was going to cave in and BDD was going to, suck Faker off during that match, but I was wrong. It was the other way around, and I wish I could take back the prediction, but I can't, so yeah. I'll do my research next time before making actual predictions,
Okay, fair enough. Joe, what about yourself? Are you happy with how your prediction went?
Well, I did say that if Longzhu can make good use of their preparation time, and if the top side of the map does really well, then they definitely have a chance. And yeah, they did that. They did predict SKT to win. I was still technically right, which is the best kind of right.
And Herbs, you weren't actually here for the last episode, but what would you have predicted at the time? We'll get your, results-based predictions,
I mean, I surely would have predicted Longzhu to win it.
3-1.
Actually, I would have said that Longzhu with the rookies wouldn't have made it, but they did, so yeah.
Yeah, I also predicted SKT to win. I thought it would go to 5 games. I thought SKT would beat them with experience. I was very wrong. So yeah.
we were all very wrong.
We were very well. Barcho was technically right, the best kind of right. We'll move on to the gauntlet now. The gauntlet. How did we feel about well, I know this is very touchy for Herbs, How did you feel about a Freak of Freaks versus MVP?
Yeah, it was, I would say, unlucky because of the 2 cheese picks, but, that happens.
Well, what about these cheese picks bothered you, Herbs? Was it just the fact they were cheese picks? Or,
I mean, yeah, they executed the strategy good with the Draven and the Lulu jungle, but... it's still cheese, so I don't know. I really like the MVP combo in game 3, it was, I think, yeah, with the Jarvan and Gallium combo.
What was it you thought at the end of our downfalls in that, by the way? I predicted personally if Freaka Freaks to win it. I didn't think MVP stood a chance. I thought if Freaka would win maybe 3-1. But what about yourself? Did you expect the MVP to take it wholeheartedly, or?
I mean, MVP has some problems in top lane and ADC, and you could see that in the match. Like, Kramer really hard outperformed Maha, so yeah, that was not that good. And also ADD just died too often, but that's just the usual thing for him, so I don't know.
What about you, Cho? What did you think about the series between MVP and the Freak of Freaks?
I thought that Afrika would 3-0 MVP pretty cleanly, but MVP managed to pull back 2 games with the cheese, with Jack's jungle, and then they played Sign Top, which kind of isn't really cheese. But I think the highlight for me this series was the strategy that Afrika Freaks used in the last game, Game 5, where they picked Lulu jungle. That was... that shouldn't have worked, but it worked for some reason, and I think that Afrika wanted to save that for the Samsung set. But I think they felt pressured, so they had to reveal that strategy. So who knows how the series versus Samsung would have gone if they were able to keep that secret.
What about you, Guardian? What did you think of the series?
I mean, I wasn't really rooting for anyone. I thought it was going to be 50-50, either team could take it. But then when I saw Afrika 2 up against MVP, I thought they were going to 3-0 this, but then I checked back an hour later or 2, and then MVP suddenly 2-2 match point last game. And then the moment I saw Lulu jungle, I knew the game was over for MVP because I don't think they've had any experience playing against Lulu jungle unless you're from EU when Spirit was playing on Fnatic and he was doing it in scrims a lot. So I don't think any Korean teams had any practice against Lulu Jungle until Spirit brought it up again in the Gauntlet. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I just like to point out a quote that Spirit said. I would only do it for an actual AD carry, or was it? It was something along those lines. And I'm just gonna say that they never picked it for Reckless. So I'm not saying that's a good judge of Reckless's ADC ability, but I'm just saying he's dog shit. I'm just throwing that out there.
He's like, guys, please do not play Lulu Jungle unless your ADC is Kramer.
Yeah. That was the quote. Yeah,
Dog.
yeah. Reckless, no Kramer. Who would your MVP of that series have been then? Overall, just as an overall player, like who would have been your personal favourite? So we'll start with you, Herbs.
Kramer by far.
What
I mean, they played game 1 completely around him. Game 5 was completely around Kramer with the Janna and Lulu. And, I mean, he performed in every game, I think. So, yeah.
What about you, Guardian? Who would you have said your MVP would have been?
I mean, I would definitely choose Kramer. Like, besides ADC bias and all that, I think that game 1 and game 2, the fact that I got perfect KD and like he executed all these spell rotations like correctly, and the series was really cool to watch. And like I learned a lot of things from that. And I think the last game in game 5 when they had Lulu Jungle and Janna support, and he perfected with an 11-0-3 or Tristana. I think it was pretty cool because he made some really nice plays and he was playing defensively, but then there was like times where he would just flash in, go aggressive and all that, and it was really cool to see these play styles happening, and him adapting throughout the game, which made me said like, all right, he's the MVP of the series. So yeah.
And what about yourself, Joe? Who would you have chosen?
No, I agree. I think Kramer is definitely the MVP. He was set up to carry, and he performed really well. I think he's underrated by a lot of the community. He's a really good AD carry, in my opinion.
Well, personally, I probably would have choose Kramer or Spirit. Spirit for simply having the pick Lulu Jungle to me is a bit insane.
He's got balls for doing
Yeah.
that, dude.
I mean, game 5 of the series, they said if you go for the gauntlet, picking Lulu Jungle, pretty ballsy, I'm not gonna lie. What about the next series that came up, Samsung Galaxy versus Africa? Some people might be more passionate about this one than others. We'll start with you, Guardian, since she would probably...
First of all, I was expecting a 3-2 from the beginning. I mean, the moment I saw Haru being in, I was like, okay, Edgar fucked up for the first 2 games, because if you put in Haru for like game 1, then he's going to be next for game 2 for some reason. It's just a trend that I see in Samsung lately as of this year. And I knew we're going to be 2-0 down, but then the moment Ambition stepped in with, playing with his veteran mind and just macroing the whole team. Like, they even said in an interview that if Ambition comes in, then, let me find my notes quickly. Like, if they said if Ambition comes in, then all the Samsung rosters, like, they play more safe and they communicate more, and Ambition's able to control with his godlike jungle control, vision control, defensively, not offensively, just to prevent all these cheese and tower dives that's happening. And I think that he executed pretty well, and he definitely felt pressure in game 3, 4, and 5 because, they're already 2-0 down, and then if they lost the 3rd game, then they're out of the World Gauntlet. But the fact that they kept calm and collected, and they trusted in Ambition, and they trusted one another within games 3, 4, and 5, which is cool to watch. And like I was just reviewing it last night again. It's just amazing to watch how when someone makes a call, like let's just say QA makes a call, something like that, or Core JJ or whatever, they always commit to it. But sometimes if the call's bad, then they just leave it, even though one person's already going in anyway. But if they're able to commit to it like 100%, and they do their spell rotations or whatever they need to do correctly in the team fight to win, then I reckon they're going to be one of the best team fighting teams already. I mean, look at the KT series, for example, but I'll talk about that later, so yeah.
And what about you, Joe? What was your opinion on the Samsung Galaxy Africa series?
What I want to know is, did Ambition have sex with Edgar's wife?
I know, I was like, oh my fucking god, dude.
Like, I think Ambition had sex with Edgar's wife, but Edgar, he wasn't mad about that, he wanted a threesome. So like in between, so like game 2 was going on, Ambition got like Edgar's wife, and he's like, alright, let's do this. And after the sex, Edgar was like, that's all I ever wanted. You're back in the team.
They settled their differences, over a bit of
Like, I don't know why else would you start Haru when the team looks completely different with Ambition and without Ambition. It's just like such a bizarre choice. Like, it's either sex or being stupid. And you know what? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. So it was sex. It's just such a weird series. Like, why would you start Haru for the first 2 games? It makes no sense. It's not like a regular season, so you can like give him playtime on the stage or anything. It like determines whether you go to Worlds or not. It's just I don't get it. Like as soon as Ambition got in the game, it was like Samsung, a completely different team, and like I don't know, such a weird team, weird coaching
I mean,
decisions.
don't put Haru in this meta. You know, he's just
Yeah.
he just watches you die, and that's it. Okay, sorry, carry on.
No, yeah, just I want to know, why do you start Haru? I'm gonna go to Korea,
Yeah.
interview Edgar, and be like, why are you starting Haru? Does he have like nude photos of you that he's blackmailing you with? It's like,
He'd say
Why?
he'd take the risk
Why?
of him getting yanked, you know, just so he could just so he could win a series, you know, which is he very much his job or his reputation, you know.
yeah, and then like in game 4, Afrika tried the Lulu jungle cheese strat.
Yeah.
With Jan again in the bot lane. It worked for a little bit, but Samsung managed to turn it around. They kept
Yeah,
their cool
yeah.
end, and they closed up the series pretty convincingly. Bottom line is, don't start Haru. Thank you. Pro tip.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, honestly, I sort of seen Harry was starting the first game and just didn't watch because I was like to myself, Samsung will win when Ambition starts. And then I sort of looked at game 2 and seen Harry started, and I was like, okay, I'll watch a bit of it to see, you know, can they do it? Can they win a game with Harry in a best of 5 scenario? And I was mistaken. I placed my faith wrongly. And then Ambition came in, and I knew this was a completely different series. Personally, I'm gonna give my MVP to Edgar's wife. No, Ambition. For basically saving Samsung's ass many times at this point. You know, he's basically
Respect.
he's starting Harry's a death wish, and starting Ambition is, you know, giving yourself a good opportunity to win. What about you, Arbs? Who would have you taken for MVP of that series?
Yeah, surely Ambition. I mean, coming in and winning 3 games in a row isn't that easy, but I mean, he did it twice now, so yeah.
What about you, Chill? Who would you have chosen for MVP of this series?
Yeah, it's definitely Ambition. Like, completely turned the game around for Samsung and carried them to the match versus KT. Also, I think I figured out why Edgar keeps starting Haru. It's because Haru looks like Dandy, and Edgar keeps thinking that it's Dandy.
Dandy!
You're
Don't
back,
bring
my
Dandy
son.
into
You're
this.
back.
Come
They like,
Dude, don't bring Dandy into this. Dude, don't give me depression like this.
but then Edgar sees him playing. He's like, oh wait, never mind.
Oh,
I mean,
wait.
yeah, your Rengar's okay, but then your tank is a fucking shit. Hard to get out. Oh my lord.
And what about you, Guardian?
I mean, I have to say Ambition, without a doubt, you know? Like, I'm looking at this game for right now, like, when people doubted his Kha'Zix pick into Lulu, but I don't know why you would doubt Ambition's Kha'Zix, first of all. Like, he's shown great progress, he's showing great results with that, but people doubted because, you know, this is all tank meta, all that blah blah shit, but then he did really well, exerting jungle pressure with Kha'Zix damage in the early game to mid game, and I think that gank, when Spirit got first blood on bot lane in game 4. I mean, yeah, Ambition was using that time to, like, you know, starting to roam and starting putting D-Vision in and putting more jungle pressure around top side and mid side, I think. So I think Ambition was pretty smart at reading the game, and despite of the matchup, he did well. No matter the odds that was stacked against him, so Ambition's my MVP.
Ambition is so we all agree that Ambition is the MVP of that series. Then fair enough.
As Jason would say, Ambition submission.
Ambition submission. A close
Position.
game. Now we're gonna move on to a series that has caused many people distress. It's
You
causing
mean happiness?
it's causing many people to jump off a wagon. Now, I consider
Yeah,
myself
how does
an
your
expert in
bandwagon
wagons.
feel? Woo!
Yeah, like there's some people who is very upset about this. This series is broken a lot of men, broken a lot of women, broken a lot of spirits.
Can you just put me last? Because I want to flame so badly afterwards. Just put me last, coach.
KT versus Samsung Galaxy. We'll start with you, Van Herbs. What did you think of KT versus Samsung Galaxy?
Yeah, it was a weird series because all of KT seemingly underperformed. I don't know, like they didn't really shut down the Zac in game 1. Usually Score is a really good jungler and he should be able, together with his team, to shut down the Zac, but they didn't. So yeah. Game 2, I think they all did some weird mechanical mistakes in the early game and lost the game of it. Also, I don't like Ken. I don't know. And yeah, game 3 was unlucky. I don't know. I don't know how they didn't win that game. They really should have won that.
Would you say the tilt is too strong? Would you say every member of KT drunk alone tonight? Would you say?
Yeah, they definitely all underperformed, but that game 3, I don't know. It was like they lost one fight in like mid game or something, and then they were tilted and couldn't close. So I don't know.
Chill. We'll move on to you. What did you think of the KT Samsung Galaxy series?
Man, I think KT should just fire their coaching staff because like Samsung had a really good read on the meta. Like drafting two tanks in the top lane and in the jungle worked out really strong for them. Like in the first game they had Cho'Gath and Zac in the jungle.
Yep.
In the second game they had Cho'Gath and Sejuani, and in the third game they had Maokai and the Zac in the jungle. I think that's really really smart from them. Have a really good understanding of the meta. Well, KT just drafted meme shit. Like, I don't know why we pick Kennen top in the current meta. It just makes no sense. Such a weird pick.
Funny enough, it was actually banned tonight versus Flame on NLCS as well.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, but NALCS had some really weird drafts as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that Deft was really bad this series. Entire split actually has been playing uncharacteristically poorly. I don't know what's up with him, but yeah. And then game 3 was just, I think it perfectly surmises a KT season. So close and yet so far. That was just a really sad game to watch. It was like you could see their hopes and dreams melt away slowly and slowly and slowly.
And you could
Very
see,
sad.
and you could see the same in Discord chat with KT fans in denial, but they were watching this happen. You know, we took SKT, we had them at 2-0 at one point, and now we're at match point against Samsung in a 3-0. When a freak of freeze can take you to 5 games and KT gets 3-0'd, that's how you truly break a team. You know.
Yeah, I just think that KT is probably gonna have to get a new mid laner. Like Pawn, I mean, he isn't terrible, but it's just like imagine they had someone like Rookie, for example, in the mid lane. It would have been such a different game.
Back rookie.
Yeah,
So
they should go to China and just give him like a shitload of gold,
Gold.
and, like pure gold, and just beg him to come back because I don't know, or get someone else because this just isn't working. And fire their coaching staff because I think they're garbage and have been the entire split.
Yeah. Would you point to Def being the main problem of us then, or would you point to Pawn being the main problem of the team, or would you just say it's overall bad macro and decision making?
It's everything. It's Deft, it's Pawn, and it's the coaching staff. I think everyone has like their share of the blame. Like obviously Score, I feel bad for him. Dude is literally Nilo hell. He just wants to win a trophy, and I don't think he ever will unless he like joins SKT. And if he joins SKT, SKT will probably start to suck somehow. So yeah.
If he joins SKT, he'll start Peanut. You know. What about Sveb? Do you think Sveb came into it? Do you think this worked out exactly as he wanted it to? You know, he expected to come into this split. Alright, so spring. Alright, lads. KT, we're a super team. We're designed to beat SKT. And then all of a sudden, his hopes and dreams get pulled away from him.
I think Smeb joined KT thinking he joined a Korean team, but then like 3 out of 5 members just spoke Chinese because they forgot Korean. I think that explains why KT sucked this season, actually. Scratch everything else I said, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, Smeb, I feel bad for you, man. Get out of there. Go to NA. Don't go to NA.
No,
Go
don't
to-
go. Fuck that shit.
I don't know, man. Just
Just send him to
so
China,
frustrating.
you know. Send him to China for you know.
hey,
Just
if
join
you-
CJ when they get back to the LCK this season.
Yeah,
MVP.
MVP is Smith.
Oh man.
Does anyone truly have the cash to fuel Smeb's drinking alone problem? The real question. Right, Guardian. You seem pretty.
Me?
You seem pretty prepared for this, yeah. You seem to have a bit of
Yeah, I'm prepared,
excitement about Flame and KT here, or Samsung. Or
I am
both.
I'm very excited. I was very excited like the moment the game was on. Okay, first of all, it feels really great the fact that 3 Samsung backstabbers went to go to China for money and come back and suck dick and get beaten by their own former organization. It feels so great to watch them get denied. It feels so great to watch Mata and Def look fucking depressed. It looks so great to see Pawn depressed like that. Oh, I've never felt so alive in my life, you know, after that incident. I like to thank the Exodus for changing me as a new man because like that was just one of the most delicious series I've ever had. It's like revenge, you know. For me, it's like Christmas coming. But besides hating on KT, okay, I mean, first of all, Pawn. I mean, I wanted BDD to join KT. Like I kind of commented like on Reddit threads and all that. Somehow KT should get BDD because he was on the bench for Longzhu. But I'm glad that he didn't leave long streak for KT because I mean, Pawn and Spring was like really fucking lackluster, and then Summers he was like but then Def was just. This wasn't even Samsung Blue Def or EDG Def, you know. This was like KT Def. This is like the lowest level of that Def has ever been in his career. Like maybe I can't say that because the seasons and metas have changed, but in my opinion, like this was his lowest point in his career. Samsung Blue and EDG Def had nothing compared to this. Like they were just levels ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And where was I? Oh yeah, talking about the games and all that, and the way that Edgar drafted with Ambition starting, like I felt confident there's going to be at least a 3-0. You know, it's like 3-1 or 3-0. I was confident with that, but then I think the game one drafting was like when the Score got Gragas, and then we Ambition got Zach. I think Ambition on Zach he's pretty smart in playing it. Like his elastic slingshot and his timing for it, and his kidnap the Zach ulti was really great, like greatly used. Like he would sometimes, like, I think he at one instant he ulted the tanks away so the backline could do damage to the KT's backline. And then there was some cases where he would try to kidnap the backliners, but they would flash out so that you know they were vulnerable for the next few seconds if Ambition could land the Q on them again. And I think watching Ambition play that game, like I didn't doubt them, even though they got first blood and all that. I knew they were going to pull through because Ambition's jungle control, like in the mid game to late game, was pretty strong, and it really denied a lot of KT's plays. But also, I want to reiterate the fact that KT Rolls' playstyle is literally fucking dive top lane or bot lane every 5 minutes or so. You just send 3 or 4 people like to go top lane or bot lane, and then just make the live sell. Like you could see in the first, I think, 10 minutes of the game in game 1, game 2, or game 3, where KT sent Pawn, Smeb Score to go top lane, or they would send them to go bot lane and they just die bot lane. But then, I mean, okay, that's your playstyle, but Samsung can respond to that. You know, they can apply pressure around the map. You have one playstyle. I've seen this a whole season. It's literally the same playstyle for me. Like, I didn't see any difference in it, and I don't think KT even innovated anything. And it was just, I guess it was, the word would be funny to watch, you know, because like KT was actually just like trying and all that, but then I knew like Samsung's team fighting was obviously better. Like they could perk and push and pull. It was like a tug of war battle, but in the end, Samsung won it by far. And then game 3, I mean, after looking at that tower defense, the base defense game, it was kind of amazing how shit KT really is at engaging team fights and how shit they are at closing games with like huge as fuck leads. But then the fact that Samsung could hold on to that for about, I think, 20 or 25 minutes straight, just clearing waves and, you know, itemizing up, getting full builds and all that, it was really cool to watch because I don't think I've seen a team that defended their base as well as Samsung did in the series. I'm not showing any Samsung bias here, but prove me wrong if you've seen like a team that has done a best tower base defense versus Samsung, but that was like one of the best base defense things I've seen. And the fact that Edgar drafted a lot of wave play on the side of Samsung for game 3, I think. Crown rule, Oriana and Zaya. I think that was pretty good wave play. It kind of matched with KT's one, but it was really just awesome to watch the fact that they just kept pushing out. And then the Baron call in game 3, when Rakan and Zaya went to the Baron pit and Ambition followed, I think that was really risky, but the fact that they could execute a risky call like that and not get punished with that call was really great from the side of Samsung, and that just showed Ambition's veteran status. You know, like he knew that this would be like the chance for Samsung to come back into the game, to come back to the series, to hold off the 3 inhibitor deficit, and it was really awesome to watch that again. Overall, you know, I'm glad KT got 3'd by Samsung, and I mean Crown. Let me just mention Crown for a second. Crown's Oriana in game 1 and in game 3, he held on for the shockwave, even though they started team fighting 5 seconds in or 7 seconds in. He held on for the shockwave just to make sure that Cuvee and Ambition could waste the flash of the KT's backline, so he would ult them when they had no escape tool, and it was satisfying because, you know, in the Samsung vs SKT series, he would just fuck up his Oriana ult. It looked like Ocelot and Perks, to be honest. Like he would just ult the mid air, and there was no result or produce of that. But then holding on for those crucial team fights that they could turn around, that's also what, you know, put Samsung stuck into that game. Like they couldn't lose if Crown had the self-discipline of not using that Orianna at the moment he saw someone, he held on for too long. Not for too long, but he held on for a decent time to turn the team fights around or to just make KT fall back. And his Syndra, I mean, yeah, well, it's Syndra, so there's nothing much for me to say about Syndra.
Guardian
Just the
makes a
fact
bit of
that,
ball control by the sounds of it, like.
yeah, dude, the ball control is real, dude. I just, it was satisfying to watch.
What did you think of Def this series? It seems to be quite a few complaints about Def's overall performance this season. What did you think of his performance in this series in particular?
I mean, he did the most damage in game 1, game 2 or 3, I think, for KT and overall.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, his positioning that was really lackluster. I mean, he would get caught. He would have to use Flash. When he didn't have to use Flash, he could just not be there because that was like the wrong position at the time in place. And I don't know. There's just something that's hindering Def. I don't know what the factor is. Like maybe because the Chinese genes got to him, and maybe because he beat backstab Samsung, he deserved this. I don't know what it is, but he has been lackluster ever since he joined KT. Okay, like the first few weeks in spring I guess it was okay, but it wasn't to the fact that he was like, okay, this reminded me of Samsung Blue Def. No, this was like, okay, he was a level below, and Def, yeah, he was okay. I wouldn't put him in the top 380 carries in the world at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, for me.
Well, I have a question for you, gentlemen, before we move on. Who has the worst position in over the course of playoffs for Deft or XPK on ADC?
Devin, SPK's kiting is the next level.
I thought you were gonna say Cody's son.
Well, I mean, Cody's son's tonight was a bit questionable, but we'll get on to that soon, don't worry. So who would your MVPs for this series be then? We'll do this in all 3 games because honestly it's a best of 3 and I think each member of Samsung performed well individually for each series, if you know what I mean. So I'd like to get your ideas on who was MVP for each of the games. So we'll start with game 1 and we'll start with Fucho. Who was your MVP of game 1?
MVP in game 1. Man, I don't know. I just think Samsung as a team performed really well that game. Like, you don't win games by not being good as a team. Like, you could give it to Crown, you can give it to Ambition, who was really good on the Zac pick. Just, I don't know. I think it's really hard to say. I'm gonna give it to Crown. Why not?
Okay. Guardian, who would you have given MVP to in game 1 of that series?
I'll give it to Ruler, honestly. Like he was going ham. Like, he would just
bias.
ADC bias, Samsung Ruler repping. Okay, but no, seriously, like real talky. Like in game 1, he was making. Okay, I think he got caught out a few once or twice, but disregard that. His positioning, overall in game 1 was pretty good, and he was going full on aggro. He was going all mayhem. He was just going kiting with Kalista, rendering stacks and all this, and putting spears in people, and putting spears and backstabbing the Samsung traders, and it was really cool. And I just love his the fact that he can play all this around and then not get caught. He can just dodge all these skill shots. Like I think there was this one instance in bot lane where Gragas came in, but he just fucking sidestepped the body slam. Fuck off, score. You're not getting this shit. And the moment he could do that, I had a feeling Rule had a lot of confidence in himself, and I knew he could pull this through. So I give it to Rule for game 1.
Okay, and Arbs, who would you have given MVP to for game 1?
I mean, it's like all of Samsung performed, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could say Ambition because he made the Zac work. But yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, you can shut down the Zac early, but it's like Katie Rosa didn't, so.
Would you say that's due to Ambition just being, as Guardian was talking about earlier, a veteran and no one, having a better idea of how to play Zac, maybe even score, as we've seen in his previous performances on Zac, where SKT seemed to have completely shut him down on the champion?
I'm not even sure, but for sure Ambition played the Zac really well, so yeah.
What about you? Oh, sorry. What I was about to ask myself for. That wouldn't have went well. Yeah. I personally would have chose Crown, honestly. I think Crown played Cinder really well. I feel like he put a good amount of pressure on the pawn to open up for Ambition. That would be my Crown would be my MVP. Hashtag my MVP. You know. Game 2. We'll start with you again, Chum. Who would you be your MVP be for game 2?
Probably Ruler. Like, his Kalista was good in both games, both 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he played really well. But I'm gonna give it, like, game 1 to Crown and game 2 to Ruler, to be fair.
Okay. What about you, Guardian?
I want to give it to the bot lane again, or like I just want to give it to the team overall. But I mean, Ambition Submission was on a great mission to deny Cannon from fucking ganking them. You know, like Snap, get the fuck out. You can, Ambition's just trying to tell Snap, you can just go fuck off. You know, go to ET1 or whatever the fuck you want to go, and you can star in a Soju commercial. You know, you'll get a lot of money and royalties for that because you fit the role. You can just drink by yourself. So I think the fact that he denied Cannon from just keeping behind them in the top side and bots mid side when they were sieging KT's base was really good, and it was really well done because Smeb was immobile for like 20 seconds, at least 20 seconds. So I'll give it to Ambition because he was like the unsung hero of that game, even though his KT was like shit or whatever it was, like 0-0-4 or something.
No.
Yeah, so I'll give it to Ambition for that one, but I'll give it to Core JJ though, like side MVP, because he did pretty well too, preventing his teams from dying, all that.
Guardian has a personal preference for Janna players. If anyone wants to be in Guardian's DMs, hit him up. Say you play Janna and you're good to go. You know. And Herbs, who would your MVP of that game be?
Yeah, I would say Ruler as well. I mean, every lane got a lead from the mistakes KT made, but the bot lane snowballed the hardest. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Core JJ as well because I like me a cheeky bit of Janna play. You know, high mechanics on the stream. You know, impossible to match. That's what I like to see. And last game 3. This one was a bit more all over the place. So who would your MVP be? Guardian, we'll start with you this time.
You know I'm gonna be Bison bot lane, right?
I know.
But no, I had to give it to Crown because the fact that he held his Shockwave for pretty long. Because I mean, yeah, Ruler got the MVP here, but then Crown's Shockwave turned the team fights around. Like, if he used a Shockwave before, when the KT backline had flashes, then KT could have just decimated Samsung straight away because they didn't get ulted by the Orianna and they had full health and all that stuff. So I'll give it to Crown because he held on for the Shockwave and team fights pretty long, and yeah, that's it. Crown. Game 3.
What about you, Chu? Would you disagree or would you disagree with it?
I agree. Crown was really good. But I don't know whether to give it to Deft or to Ambition and Core JJ. I think their engages have been really good, especially when it got to really late. They always managed to find Deft and either burn like a flash or heal. I'm not sure that's Deft being bad or just Ambition and Core JJ being really good with their engages.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of the two. They had a really good game. Or Crown, alternatively.
Okay. And Herbs, who would you give MVP to?
Yeah, I overall agree. Like, Crown was really good, but yeah, the front line was really well. I mean, if you hold the game for that long with that much of deficit, your front line has been doing a really good job. So, Ambition and QV really stepped up.
Well, for an extra segment at the end here, what would you like to see from KT next season? Would you like to see them do any roster changes or any swaps? Or Chua has obviously already expressed his distaste of the KT coaching staff, and obviously, I would sort of agree with that. I think the KT coaching staff are maybe missing some brain cells. Maybe they need to whip Mata harder. Maybe they need to tell Mata to not, maybe Mata's bullying them for into Chinese strats. Who knows? What about you, Guardian? What would you say?
I mean, first of all, I would KT import 3 Chinese people, and then put them in fucking mid lane and bot lane. That doesn't make any sense because their skill would just deteriorate in LPL because it's a pretty shit region. And I think they should not disband the whole team, but I don't know what's going on with Skull. Like, if he's gonna retire next year, or if he really wants to earn the title. But I mean, it's either him that's cursed or that's KT's name that's cursed. Either way, I think I don't see them staying together. But I see Smeb leaving and potentially joining another LCK team. I don't think he'll join overseas because there's a better chance of him actually winning a title in LCK if he's on a good team as compared to a good team in NA with trash Western players. So he should stay in LCK, and I think LCK players this season should stay in LCK and not move abroad if they can. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't see the roster sticking together.
Herbs, what about you? Is there anything you'd like to see from KT next season? Roster swaps or anything like that?
I mean, if I was the KT management, I would keep Score and Smap and try to build the new team around that, because kind of the problem is that they have the too much shot callers. Like Score is probably a really big voice, and Marta for sure. So I would kick one of Score and Marta, and like Score is like really long in the organization. So yeah, I mean, and then just get a new bot lane and some other mid laner that's like more low econ, and hope for more of a carry top meta again, so that Smith can carry.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to see? Is there any particular players you'd like to see them pick up, maybe? Any players, you can think of that you'd like to see on KT?
Rookie.
Rookie! Yeah, Rookie.
I mean, I didn't watch back when Rookie played in LCK, so...
Fair point.
Bring back Rookie.
And you, Cho, you've already expressed your distaste for KT coaching staff. Is there anything else you'd like to see them remove?
I mean, you should remove the coaching staff and keep Smeb and Score and maybe Mata, and like get a new AD carry and mid laner, or like have a talk with Deft and ask him why is he inting and why is he playing like crap. And if he like promises to not perform as badly as he did this season, next season, then maybe keep him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they definitely need like a new coaching staff and a new mid and possibly AD carry.
Yeah. I would feel the same thing. I feel like Deft is still obsessed with China. He misses Miko, Miko strokes his pitcher at night, just strokes his pitcher. I miss the old days when LPL was a free win, He struggles to practice in Korea. But I would like to see KT redo their coaching stuff. I'd actually like to see them keep Mata. Smev, I don't know. It feels like maybe if you have Mata and Smev in the same team, you're going to get conflict, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
There seems to be quite a lot of tension between the two of them. Yeah, Smev has a sort of strong voice, but Mata is a very dominant personality, you know what I mean? I don't think like Smev would stand down and be a bitch boy for him, if you know what I mean. So I would kind of like to see them maybe get rid of Smev and keep Mata, because you're not going to get many supports that can lead you as well as Mata does. That's just me personally. Maybe get an ADC who can just bitch boy and listen to Mata all the time, because I feel like Def might have had to have too much independence and tried to do things on his own, and that may have caused a bit of conflict as well. But I'd like to see him definitely for sure get rid of mid. Like Pawn he's a bit rusty. I'm not gonna lie, he's a bit rusty. Maybe if he improves, maybe he takes like a split off to attack, take a split off to heal off his back problems. He wasn't carrying hard enough in China to justify his back problems, but the guy should just take a break. Maybe retire into coaching or something. But yeah, we're gonna move back actually here a couple of steps to the finals, because I kind of skipped the final games. In particular, we're gonna do our MVPs per game and what we thought of the games overall, because obviously we were most of us predicted SKT to win the series. We'll start with game one, and we'll start with you, Guardian. What was the surprise for you about this series? Like, what did surprise you about it?
I think the fact that Khan on Jace is like they left it up for him on carry top lane, and it wasn't really surprising, but it was more so the fact that he can really turn the game around with just a few kills. Like he can just control the whole top side or wherever he is located. And I mean, I don't think I've seen a more dominating top laner than Khan besides Smeb. I think probably in the last year or two, but I think Khan is definitely the undisputed best top laner in the world as of now.
What do you think of his Jax playing game one? Because we're talking about game one, you brought up Jace.
Oh fuck. I mean, yeah. His Jax is insane. Wasn't it where he got a solo kill and faker this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the block. Yeah, I mean, okay. Disregarding the solo kill and faker, I think he exerted the map pressure really well, and he attracted a lot of pressure from for his team, so like SKT could send at least 2 or 3 members in to kill him or stop him at least, but he could always escape. No, wait, not always, but he would, like 80% of the time he would escape freely with just losing a flash or an ult or whatever it was. And I think exerting that map pressure is really important if you have like wave clearing AD carry in mid lane, for example, Orion and Varus, they could just wave clear top and mid and just siege or go for objectives with Cuz for like Rift Herald or War Towers and all that stuff. But I think Khan played pretty well in game 1 to attract a lot of map pressure for his team to siege.
What do you think? Do you think the top side of the map was SKC's problem then this game, or do you think it was more so a lack of overall synergy across the team? Because there seemed to be quite a few problems overall with what was going on. Peanut seemed a bit all over the place.
What really ticks me off right now is like, I mean, yes, okay, I like SKT, but I think what ticks me off is that they keep putting Blank and Peanut really. They've been subbing Blank and Peanut more frequently than they have in Spring. I think, yeah, Spring. Yeah. Because like, if you put in like, different junglers in every series, and like it's literally every series they put in different junglers. Like Peanut was subbed out for Blank in the KT series. I think in the Africa one, Peanut played, right? Or was it just Blank? I can't remember. But if you keep subbing them like that, then sometimes they have to change the playstyle, because I know that Peanut is not as great on tanks as Blank is as of this year, and it felt a bit lackluster watching Peanut on tanks. And his staple two-trick ponies, Lee Sin not being in this meta, or well, maybe Lee Sin's in this meta, but not being able to take it and provide what he did for SKT in Spring and MSI was pretty surprising, because Peanut was definitely lackluster this summer split. And I felt like the synergy between the top lane and the jungle was just really fucked up, because
Oh, we've lost Uru. The kangaroo's down. He fell out of the pouch. Will he come back? We'll give him a second. In the meantime, Chill, what's
Tara and Peanut, worked out previously, but it's just that this synergy, it just fell apart for the top side.
The kangaroo's gone again. It does be a kangaroo fucking around his antenna on the top of his house.
I he kept talking like nothing happened. Like
yeah, he just didn't disconnect at all.
What?
You disconnected? Hello? You disconnected and dropped out?
Oh, did I actually?
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude. Welcome to my life. Where was I?
You got you sort of cut out in the middle between synergy between Peanut and top side of him up.
Oh fuck. Yeah, anyway, it's like, I mean, let me just make a small point. Make a consistent duo in the SKT top end jungle. Don't mix it up, like fuck it up, like Huntara Huni in one game and then Huntara and Blank in the second game. Like just make a fixated duo. Just stop changing it, because that would kind of screw up synergy and the way you play the game. Even though it's literally tank meta, but you can still change the style of the game.
Okay.
And bot lane was lackluster for me, so yeah, Bang & Wolf got outclassed by Prey Gorilla by far.
Okay, well, you go and shoot the kangaroo that's probably fucking around the top of your house. We'll move on.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna kill the kangaroo.
We'll move on to you, Chill. What was your opinion of game 1 of the series?
I think the first game was a sign of things to come when it comes to SKT and their bad drafts. SKT drafted a comp that had to be ahead in the mid game in order to be effective, in order to work. Mm-hmm. But it never happened. Like, at best, they were even with Longzhu in the early game. When Longzhu made a play topside, they tried to get Kuntara, but Faker had TP. And he immediately TP'd, and what impressed me was B. Diddy. He roamed immediately. Like, before the TP was even called, he started roaming. And that was really crucial, because they managed to pick up 2 kills, and Jax got a bunch of assists, which got him rolling. And when Jax gets assists and kills, that's basically a pretty sad matchup for Shen in general.
Yeah.
Another important part in that game was around 15 minutes, I think it was, where SKT engaged onto Prey with the Varus ult, but he was baiting. And this is where Cuz impressed me really hard. He was always where he needed to be. Whenever SKT tried to make a play, Cuz was there to counter-engage, completely outclassing Peanut, in my opinion, in this game. Khan TP'd and then, picked up a kill. They kept chasing. And Untara's Shen ult in that fight was really bad. He could have saved Tahm Kench with the ult, but he ulted Bang's Ash for absolutely no reason.
Yep.
After that, Longzhu just kept chasing. Jax got a few more kills. They got the first turret, and at that point, that was it. Jax just got too big. He was able to effectively control the side lanes at any point in the game.
Yep.
And just SKT was not able to come back after that. And then there was a really nice play from Khan when he stole that blue buff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that was really nicely played from him. Like, he completely just dominated the side lanes. Nobody from SKT could respond to him.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now.
Yeah, and yeah, that was just it. Just a really bad draft from SKT. They draft this early to mid game comp that just couldn't execute it properly. And yeah, then Khan solo killed Faker 23 minutes into the game. Longzhu did Baron, and that was it. They waited for the waves to crash into SKT's base, and then they simply closed the game. I think that Longzhu played really well this game, especially Cuz and BDD, who BDD with the great roam, which managed to save that early fight topside when Faker TP'd, and Cuz because he was able to counter engage and counter gank whenever he needed to. He was always where he needed to be and managed to turn fights around into favor of Longzhu. Khan as well, also really, really good performance on the Jax. Got a few assists, got a few kills, and that was that.
Were you surprised by the first game of this series? Did you expect SKT to come out of the door swinging and maybe try and capitalize on the rookies feeling pressured? Or did you were you not surprised Longzhu took the first game?
I was not that surprised, especially when I saw Peanut starting. Because you kind of use this first game to test out the waters and whatnot, especially they gave up Zach. But then I saw SKT's draft, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really bad. And after that, it was just downhill that game.
And what about you, Earps? What was your opinion on game one of that series?
Yeah, I mean, giving Khan on the Jax the free lane against Shen is that's stupid to do. And they did it again in game 2, giving him the free lane, and he got assists, so yeah, the Jax snowballed. And I don't know, Peanut built again the AP jungle item on Gragas. He does this all the time, but it's not good. So I don't know.
We'll move on to MVPs that series since we just finished for Europe. Who would your MVP of that game, be?
Khan, even though he got the free lane, so I mean, to me, I could say it was Coma to give him the free lane, but I don't know.
What about you, Vanguardian?
I want to say Khan, but I would probably give it to BDD with that roam, that early roam, that double kill, the one that Cher talked about, because it was pretty crucial too. He had the initiative to start roaming when Faker went missing, or when they knew they were going for that top side tower dive, and I think BDD did pretty well, definitely against his idol and against Faker of all people, and he definitely stood his ground mid lane, and definitely did his best in the series.
What about you, Chum?
BDD and Cuz both deserve an MVP shout, but I think that has to be Khan. He got the kills, he got the assists, and he just kept going on like a truck, just smashing down those side lanes, unable to be contained. And if it wasn't for that Jax pick that got rolling, it might have been a different game. But yeah, he just completely took over the game after a certain point, and there was no coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah, Khan.
I'm kind of torn between BDD and Khan, but I'll give it to Khan because he did make good use of his advantage. He just kept pushing and putting on so much pressure that eventually it just broke SKT's back. It was very impressive, and I think he deserved MVP just for that game. On to game 2, we'll start with you, Joe. What did you think of game 2?
Again, horrible draft from SKT. The comp was fine until the last 2 picks, and then they pick Echo and Shen, and I'm like, are you fucking retarded, Chroma? What the fuck are you doing? Picking up Echo and Shen basically signals you to pick Jace, because Jace will always win a side lane matchup, barring them getting extremely fed, like an Echo gets extremely fed. And because Jace does great into Shen on its own, that's a matchup that Jace wins and will always win. And especially in the 1-3-1, Jace will always have the advantage. And that draft was just weird because up to that point, Longzhu would not pick Jace. It would not be good into SKT's comp. Then they pick Echo and Shen, and I'm like, why? That doesn't make sense. Really confusing draft from SKT. And then, from the early game, I think it was 5 minutes where SKT dived to Jace, which I think is the correct play. You want to shut it down. You don't want it to get ahead, especially in the matchup versus Shen.
Yep.
But they fuck up. They had bronze turret aggro management. And 2 or 3 players got really chunked. And again, BDD started roaming really, really early. Got there in time, and again, managed to pick up a return kill for Longzhu, which ultimately kept them even and inside the game. SKT looked really good. Early on in the game, they looked like they were about to win.
Yeah.
But then they got greedy, they got really greedy. After blank gank bot side, they got a kill. And then they decided to contest blue buff from Longzhu. They got really greedy. They overstayed their welcome. They tried to dive Gorilla, but Gorilla got a great flay. Great flay into a great body slam from Cuz, which allowed him to pick up Longzhu to pick up 2 kills and an Infernal. I think that was the first turning point of the game, because Longzhu just managed to completely take the game from that point and make it their own. And just after that, the Jace got really big. There was an engage from SKT in the bot side after like 19 minutes or so, where Wolf engaged, but he fucked up and he got hooked and immediately got bursted down. Cousin BDD collapsed. They zoned off the Twitch with the Weaver's Wall. He was flashless. And they managed to pick him up as well. I think Jace got a few kills there as well. Faker TP'd, but he didn't do anything. I think he even ulted back to lane or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Longzhu got a turret, and after that, they just kept snowballing, and the Jace pick was really, really good. There was like 26 minutes or so in the game where Khan just completely stomped Untara, or was it 29 minutes? I forget. But like Jace 1v1'd the Shen. Khan solo killed Untara. That basically gave Longzhu, go. Let's go do Baron.
Yeah.
They did Baron, and then Gorilla, again, for me, I'm going to say it now, the MVP of this series, he got a great hook onto Faker. He couldn't ult, he couldn't do anything, got immediately bursted down, and that gave Longzhu a free Baron. And after that, Longzhu just kept, did the basic thing, pushed the side lanes, took turrets with Baron, and managed to win the game off of that. So yeah, like, really bad draft from SKT, in my opinion. The Jace pick was just really, really, really free from Longzhu.
Especially for Khan as well.
Yeah, like, once they saw the last 2 picks, that was like, yeah, we're picking Jace. This is going to be very, very easy. Crucial plays from Gorilla kept Longzhu in this game. Mm-hmm. Really great plays and hooks onto both onto both Bang and Faker. Definitely kept them in the game. And yeah, I think Longzhu played really well, and SKT kind of fucked themselves over with that really bad draft.
I'm not sure if you've seen as well, but Untara did less damage in Fresh that game. 4,000. He did 4,400 and Fresh did 5,100.
I can't say I'm surprised, honestly.
Interesting statistics, Anyway, Guardian, on to you. Hit us up with that.
I'm not sure why they chose Echo that match. If anyone can explain to me, why they chose Echo when other control mages were up and available to match the wave clear on the side of Longzhu. They have 3 wave clears. Yeah, I don't know why. So does anyone actually know why they chose Echo in that game?
I think SKT's idea was to 1-3-1 that game.
1-3-1.
But it was a horrible pick.
Fucking backfired. Yeah, and then to reiterate the point that Cho said about Wolf diving in at 1950, I think. Yeah, 1950. That dive wasn't necessary because before Wolf dived in and when Bang's Twitch was on stealth, Kaz actually popped the vision plant and it revealed the SKT's control ward in the jungle bot side, in the river bot side. So that was an indication that Kaz was actually in the vicinity and that they should not engage, And if they wanted it all in like that, I think SKT should have called for the Shen ult quicker, and they should have called for the Faker's TP quicker, because the moment Wolf went in, not even a split second later, Jace just TP'd back behind them, just straight away, straight up TP'd, and that was a really good play from Longzhu, the way they called everything out like that, and it was really well done, macro wise, and I think that if you want to dive, if you want to do a skirmish 2v2 in bot lane, and then the enemy Jace is missing, he's nowhere to be seen. He could be in base, or could be in your jungle, or could be bot side perhaps. I don't think you should make a risky decision like that, even though you have Shen ult. But Untara didn't ult until it was way too late, and Faker already TP'd, but he had to ult back into lane. And I mean, if you knew that it's going to be 3v2 the moment the vision plant was popped on Longzhu's jungle side, and that was indicating that Cuz was there, that was a pretty bad play from Bang. And I don't know why Bang actually committed with the stealth in and committed to go for the play. He actually baited Wolf in because Wolf E'd to Twitch, and then he got hooked in flight, and he just got decimated straight away, in 2 or 3 seconds. So it was a really poor decision by SKT, and I would say that's uncharacteristic. But then this year, I mean, Wolf and Bang has been pretty lackluster. Wolf especially has been lackluster this year as compared to his previous years. So. And then Jace got big, and then all these towers were being taken down, and then they were behind. The wave play was complete shit compared to Talia, Zaya, and Jace. I mean, yeah, Echo's okay with wave play in the later stages, but then if you couldn't execute a 1-3-1 like that, and it was pretty... I don't know what the word would be for that, because Longsu just completely outclassed SKT in game 1 and game 2. So yeah, and
Um,
my MVP would have to be Gorilla.
okay, okay. So, Herbs, who would your MVP be for that game?
Yeah, I think Khan really showed up again. So I mean, he had the free lane again, but yeah, I think the echo from Faker was like more or less disrespect. I mean, you can play the echo into control mages pretty well, but I don't know.
Uh,
Syndra was still up. Syndra is really good pick, but he
Oriana was
didn't
up, yeah, exactly.
play it the whole series, so I don't know.
mhm.
But I think that would have been better, but I don't know. I think it was more or less Faker saying he wants to carry the game or something like that, but I don't know.
We'll move on to game 3 then. This was the only game in the series SKT won. What we'll start with you. Chu. What do you think actually went wrong for Longzhu in this game?
I think that it's really risky to pick Zac on red side when you're versus blank, or just Zac in general versus blank when SKT is running blank. Because SKT did the same thing they did versus KT in game 5. They picked strong matchups in top and mid, and then they proceeded to just completely shut Zac out of the game, like
Yep.
completely denied his jungle.
Yep.
Like at the start of the game, Huni and Blank immediately moved in.
And just
And it took-
sad as wolves for.
They took blue buff from Zac. Then like Cuz was like, "Oh shit, I better get over there." And then him and Blank were like dicking each other around for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
That was that was really funny. Yeah, Cuz of Zac was really unimpressive. Honestly, like even regardless of like being shut down so hard by SKT, he had a couple of weird moves that just didn't make sense. Like when he was dicking around mid lane for no reason, like he saw LeBlanc, he was like gonna run away, then he went back, and
yeah.
LeBlanc just caught him and killed it. I was like, what? I mean, that was just really weird. SKT had great deep warding the entire game. Like every time Cuz showed on a camp, Blank and someone from SKT was there to take the camp and just deny him.
Yeah.
That was really impressive for SKT. They really know how to shut down Zac completely. I don't think I've seen that in any other region of the world. Shut down Zac as effectively as SKT did versus KT and now versus Longzhu. Longzhu picked Taric.
Yep, we did.
And
Yeah, they did.
that was bad. Like Gorilla's Taric was not impressive. It was really mediocre. I guess you can't do much. It's not a playmaking champion, but still there were like a couple of easy he should have hit. And overall he didn't really do much. But yeah, I think this game was mainly just Cuz getting abused because of a really, really bad Zac pick from Longzhu.
Yeah.
SKT know how to deal with the champion. They completely shut him down. Winning lanes will win on their own and will snowball even harder when there's no jungle pressure to contain them. And yeah, the game was basically over once Zac was locked in my opinion.
What do you think of SKT's pick and ban for the series for that game? Sorry.
I think they did what they needed to do. They picked strong laning phase that went on their own. Like Gnar wins into Camille, in my opinion.
Yep.
LeBlanc shits on Oriana early, especially really hard. Cannot put a lot of pressure. And Xayah Alistair is probably, I would say it's an even bot lane versus very, very steric. Probably a slight advantage to Xayah Ali. But yeah, just, SKT knew what they needed to do. Draft strong lanes, which allow constant pressure, which in return allows for SKT to move into the enemy jungle and just contest the Zac on every single buff and camp that he is. And I think it was a really good draft. The only good draft SKT had in this entire series. So yeah.
What about you, Orbs? What do you think of this game?
Yeah, definitely the draft favored SKT, and then I think it was level 1 they shut down the Zac already, so, and then Huni had a lead, and I mean, Huni giveth and taketh away.
Yeah. Make a bad play and tries to instantly make up for it again, Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but in game 3 it worked out really well, and
That's good. Do you think did this game give you maybe a bit of a hope that SKT would win the series? Did you think SKT could pull it back after winning this game?
To be honest, not really, because Huni is like really a tilter sometimes, so if you just camp him and he doesn't have the level 1 lead he had in that game, like they can't win. And if they switch back in Untara hasn't really shown the carry matchups, so yeah.
And what about you, Guardian? What did you think of SKT winning this game? Did it give you any hope as a SKT fan that they'd win? That the bandwagoners would be put down,
Yeah. I had a bit of hope when they put in Huni because like I knew he was hungry. You know, he was a carries oriented player, not just like. I mean, he was known for playing carries ever since he debuted in Fnatic, and I think putting him on the Naga to Camille, it really boosted his ego when he was one up on the matchup, like when he Cuz was caught out, and I think the fact that you could inflate Huna's ego and turn him into a fucking beast in game is actually really impressive, and I kind of wish that he carried I know he carried the momentum in, but he was cucked by Koma in game 4, but I'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, definitely Cuz was definitely he was read like a book by Blank and the whole of SKT like just get playing. I think KT also played Zac on blue side right against SKT and he just got shut down.
Yeah.
If you could read like that on one specific side and drafting against that team that you lost in the regular season, I think you shouldn't really dare to draft Zac against SKT in my general opinion if you're on blue side and SKT is on red side because they can just repeat and rinse and repeat, do the same thing over and over again if God gives you on the same side or whatever the fuck what happens in the next game. So I mean okay, Zaya for Bank, it's a bit of a he was okay. I definitely had high expectations of Bank on just in general,
Yeah.
But it felt really lackluster. But then Huni really showed up, like that great escape, that 3v1, and then
yeah.
that 3v2.
Yeah.
That was a really great escape. It's like okay, Huni is going to carry this game, and the momentum is just way too great for SKT not to to just throw randomly and throw it randomly. But I knew they were going to take this game. Like the moment Huni was going all aggro and all this stuff and playing like himself,
Yeah.
playing selfishly at the same time, but also playing defensively, which is great. So yeah, that I definitely had a bit of hope
Okay.
for SKT. Yeah.
Who would your MVP of that game be, Venture?
As I said, it's probably. Oh no, I didn't say it, sorry. It's probably going to have to be Blank, I would say.
Yeah.
He did a lot of work shutting down Zac. So did the entire SKT team, but he also had a great engages, great gank onto the bot lane. A few times, and he just performed really well. So yeah, I'd give it to Blank.
Herbs, who would you have choose for MVP of that game?
Or Huni, but
Yeah, I agree with Blank. Blank was really good that game at least, and yeah, picking Zac against Blank is I don't know.
It's pretty worthy, yeah. Guardian, what about you? Who would you have chosen for MVP of that game for SKT?
Same reason, to be honest. Blank. Yeah, I'll give Huni an honorable mention for carrying the momentum in, but I'll have to give it to Blank for that 30 seconds jack off in the top side jungle at Wolf Camp against Cuz. I think that played a pretty important role because you could just track it. Zac was wasting so much time. And yeah, Blank.
Okay. We'll move on to game 4 then. The killing blow. We'll start with you, Chill. What do you think SKC's problem was for this game? And what did Longzhu do well?
bad draft, and Longzhu had a good draft. Longzhu did a really good adaptation, because generally when you have first pick, you don't want to ban Zac, because it's a really, really strong jungler. But, Coach Hirai does a great adaptation here. He decides to ban it away, because he's like, well, this isn't going to work. We can't play Zac versus Blank, because they're just going to do the same thing and shut him down. So they do ban Zac away, but they, in return they give up Tristana and Rakan, which is a really, really strong bot lane duo. And in return, Longzhu got a comfort pick for Cuz, which was Gragas, which I think was really important. And then, again, SKT just decided to go full oink in their draft. They decided to ban Lucian on their second rotation, which was really weird. You could have banned Jace, but you went for Lucian. I'm like, okay. And then they picked Maokai jungle. I have no idea what Kokoma was smoking. But I'm not sure I want some of it. That's such a weird pick. It's so weak in the early game. It just makes no sense. And today there was the LCL finals, and M19 or whatever the fuck the team's name is, M17, I don't know. Reach jungles for them. Very good jungler. They also picked Maokai in the jungle. Guess what? They lost. He was 0-5 or some shit, because it's a really weak jungler. And then Kokoma does a stroke of genius. Longzhu already picked Jace, and what does Kokoma do? He picks Cho'Gath into Jace. Really
fun matchup for Cho'Gath.
Really, really good. Especially when you have Talia in the mid lane who can roam top and just keep killing him, which happened in the game. I don't know why you would pick that. So weird. Maybe they just thought that Huni would be fine. That Longzhu wouldn't punish him. But the complete opposite happened. And then at the start of the game, Maokai is a really weak early game jungler. And Longzhu capitalized on that. They move in to the raids and they just bully him away from his red buff, start forcing him to go and start on the blue side on the map. And then the Huni camp starts. And LCK showed why it's the best region in the world. Because I've never seen someone shut down Cho'Gath this hard as Longzhu did versus SKT. They just kept going top and going top and going top. Because Maokai is such a weak jungler, he can't do anything. He's a potato until like he gets tank items, and even then, you're probably never gonna get there. So Kaz just moved into Blank's jungle and just kept bullying him, and this basically allowed Longzhu to keep diving topside, constantly keep diving topside. I think when they dived Cho'Gath, Faker's TP was very late. Longzhu had good turret jungling, and they managed to kill Maokai. And the important thing is that Jace got that kill. And after that, the pain train starts for Cho'Gath. The matchup's hard now; it becomes even harder.
Yep.
After that, cousin BD moved top again and killed Cho'Gath once more. And the important thing is that Huni is a very tilt-prone player. And especially in the finals, you die like 5 times in a row or whatever it was. You're gonna tilt. Chances are you're gonna tilt, especially if you're someone like Huni. Like I lost track of how many times Cuz or BDD came topside and just got the Jace rolling and got free kills onto the Cho'Gath, who was completely useless. Because there was such a big advantage topside. Longzhu got the first turret, and I think at that point the game was over. I knew Longzhu was going to win. The SKT was not coming back from that, like unless Longzhu throws really, really hard. BDD held his own in the mid lane, and Longzhu's bot lane was destroying SKT's bot lane. Like, SKT banned Tristana a lot of times this series, and this game I could see why. It's like Bang never played Tristana, multiple hooks. Landed. Gorilla landed multiple hooks onto Bang, which he shouldn't have, because you have a W, use it. It's a good spell. But yeah, just all those things combined managed to give Longzhu a pretty easy victory. I just don't think that SKT should have done that in the draft. It was a really bad draft from them, and yeah, I don't know what Kokoma was thinking. Really, really weird.
Guardian, what do you think of that game overall?
I mean, talking about the draft phase, I don't know why Koma put Huni on Cho'Gath in a tank of all people when he carried momentum in Game 3 on a carry, Like, I think Nara was open, right?
Yep, he was.
Yep.
Nara was open. I mean, Camille was open. Yeah, I'm not sure about Huni's Camille to Jace. I'm not sure the matchup of Camille to Jace, because I haven't really experienced this well. But if you saw Succession in Game 3 in your top laner that played a carry, and you put him on a tank next game, and it's Cho'Gath against a Jace, if you don't ban Jace, then you kind of already set yourself up for a defeat here. I mean, it was just poor drafting it was uncharacteristic from Koma, just in general. But the Maokai jungle was also a big question mark. I think if they banned Gragas in the first rotation, I'm not sure if Longzhu would have opted in for Elise instead, because Kaz is pretty known for his Elise, and maybe Blank could have got the Gragas instead, and he could have tracked Elise better than and exerted more pressure than fucking Maokai, But yeah, so sorry, go on.
Sorry. Which of the bans would you like to have seen SKT changed? SKT in first rotation banned Calista, Galio, and Sejuani. Which of those?
Change to Sejuani. I think so. I don't has Kaz played Sejuani before. I don't think. I think he has, right? But no, right?
I don't think he has. I might be wrong. He probably did like once.
Him, play Sejuani. So I think that Sejuani ban was just a waste. You could have banned Elise or Gragas, I think you could have banned Gragas instead, and to deny the first pick. So maybe Kaz could have won Elise, and then you would have Blank would have got the Gragas instead.
Well, Longzhu themselves banned Elise as well, so we did.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in Kuma's head during that game for picks and bans, but I thought thinking that the Kalista and Rakan would do well, but then again, this is Caitlyn 715, which was before her trap nerf, so it was pretty just uncharacteristic from Koma, which is kind of depressing to watch because fuck.
A lot of people
I don't know what
pointed
else
to
to
the
say.
SKT drafts as a problem in this series. Would you be worried about that as a future problem, or would you say this was just a one-time thing?
This better be a one-time thing, because if they do this at Worlds, like if they underestimate their opponents, I mean, they can get cut pretty easily. Because of them underestimating their opponent like this. I think this was just. I felt like it was a bit disrespect, in Game 1 and Game. I felt like SKT just disrespected Longzhu straight up because like you're thinking, okay, a bunch of I wouldn't say I wouldn't say rejects, but like uh you know BDD that was cucked for like a year and a half, and Khan who just came from the LSPL or LPL whatever, and Cuz is a rookie. I feel like they disrespect the status of having Praying Gorilla as like the mother and father figure, like the strong. I think the strongest bot lane duo in the world. So I think the fact that they disregarded the fact that they can shot call that well against SKT, and SKT also playing like solo queue, like uncharacteristically just diving and doing random shit and just TPing everywhere and making use like not even looking at the map, when going for skirmishes. I think that was really uncharacteristic of SKT, and I do not want to see that again in Worlds, because if they do that, then I mean, yes, I do predict that they'll get out of groups. I do predict that they'll get out of quarterfinals. But if they do this until all the way to semifinals, then they can say goodbye to their fourth World Championships, because people can punish this easily. Okay. So it was Koma's drafting and
needs to get fixed, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
What do you think of the final game, Herbs?
Yeah, definitely the draft was a problem again for SKT. I mean, they could have even switched out the Lucian ban in the second phase. I don't know why they would ban Lucian. Like, it was open game 1 and 2 and nobody picked it, and then game 3 Longzhu decided to ban it because it's good into Orianna, and then Koma was like, oh yeah, Lucian is a champ, he's like really good, let's ban him instead of the Jace that Khan carried on. And yeah, I don't know why you would ban Jax and leave Jace open. That's like stupid.
Well, who would be your MVP for that series, Herbs? For this game, sorry?
Probably just Khan again, because he played really well. Like, Khan and Kaz dove Huni so often that he just tilted, and yeah.
What about you, Chip? What would you say?
Yeah, definitely Khan. He got the kills he needed, and he just kept rolling into the side lanes. Like, there was that one team fight where he like got a huge EQ combo with like 3 members of SKT and just chunked him and saved the fight for Longzhu. I was like, oh shit, they're throwing, and then Khan came. I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah,
big man Khan with a big ass hammer,
Yeah, he definitely had a great performance.
And what about you, Guardian?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say Khan, because that 1v3 outplay in the top bot side of the map near SKT's base was pretty crucial. Like, I thought Longzhu was going to throw that, but then Khan just, there was so many times that Khan just 1v2'd, and then or 1v3 in the game that really helped out Longzhu, because there was this one incident at about 20 minutes in where Jace went to fight Huni in bot side. Huni was really low, but then Jace went in for the dive, even though he was also low. But when Faker TP'd in, he also went for that 1v2 potential. But at that crucial point, at 20 minutes in, Longzhu's the rest of the Longzhu was topside, controlling SKT's red side jungle, and also I think they got Ripperl just before that. I think, did they? Let me see. Hold on. No, I think they didn't get Ripperl, but they, with that 1v2 potential outplay, like in the bot side with against Faker, Huni, and Khan, I think Longzhu did really well to deep ward topside and deny SKT's vision control in their own jungle. So that was pretty crucial too. And then that 1v3 outplay was amazing. I mean, yes, it's one of the best Jace plays in the world, and seeing someone just fucking 1v3 SKT members is definitely going to give you a high status in the world ranking. So it was really cool to see someone like Khan, not choke and just keeping this momentum after getting cucked in game 3, and then just destroying SKT playing out like that 1v3 and whatever he did in the rest. So yeah, Khan MVP.
So do you think SKT should have obeyed Khan's warning? Do anyone watching it advise you to ban my Jace? Should have been listened to?
Yeah, fuck it. Read the article, god damn it, Kuma. It's so simple.
Yeah, he tells you how to be, maybe take a second game, bring it to 5, but he was ignored. We'll move on to the next series. The next section. We're going to talk about the LCS third place games. Now, I'm going to remind you quickly of the results in case you don't remember. Wrong button. There we go. Okay. LCS third place games. We had Dignitas versus CLG, which is a 3-0 in favour of CLG. And we had HTK versus Fnatic, which was a best of 5 series. 5 games went all the way, and Fnatic won in the end. We'll start with EU, and we'll start with you, Cho, because I knew you had HTK going through, didn't you? With away to finals.
No, not. Well, yes, I did. I predicted HTK to beat G2 and win the ULCS because I'm an idiot like that. Obviously, it didn't happen. That was a bit unlucky. But yeah, the game versus Fnatic. Yeah, I think Nuclear should go swim to Korea. He is a really, really bad player. Like, like his first game, he was really good. He like landed a great arrow in the mid lane.
Yep.
Onto caps, which allowed actually get a kill and then keep snowballing off of that.
Yep.
But apart from that, he has been horrible, really horrible. I think it was game 3 or 4. I'm like, HTK has a big lead, and there's a fight in the mid lane, like near the mid lane inhibitor. And I'm watching Nuclear. He's not autoing, like at all.
Yeah,
he's not autoing.
He's just standing still. Yeah.
He's like a lost puppy running around, not knowing what to do. I'm like, you're fucking just on a press right click, and the game does everything for you. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Like, he was good. He was good in the regular season, but then every time playoffs comes, his skill level just like drops 50%.
Yep.
I think that like I feel bad for Che. I think Che is a really good support. I think that like in my opinion, a good AD carry will make a bad support shine. Like Reckless makes Jez shine. I think Jez is bad, to use a good term, and that'd be vulgar. He's bad. But good support will have a harder time making a bad AD carry look good. At best, he can make him look average, which I think Che does to Nuclear. He makes him look somewhat competent.
Yep.
Like, he was good on Zbenu when he played there.
Yep.
Like, he was pretty good with Flawless, the Lee Sin God.
Yep, the one trick.
Yeah. But, like, here, he's just very, very disappointing. Also, Prolly's drafts were, again, very interesting, very weird. So, yeah, I expected HTK to win the third place game. I'm never believing them again. It was a duel of the NA coaches, who is the shittier NA coach, and Dylan Falco won. So congratulations to him, I guess. He won nothing, really. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in HTK. I think the roster has the ability to do a lot more, especially if they get an 80 carry that isn't the potato.
Yeah.
Like Forgiven, for example. But yeah.
God given her boy, you know.
Yeah. And then the NA set.
Mm-hmm.
I never rated the Intels. I thought they were always a bit overrated. I don't know how even they managed to beat C9. I guess C9 has a lot of like internal issues or whatnot. Like I always thought the Shrimp was a bad jungler, like really bad.
Yeah.
Even when he played in Japan, I thought he was bad.
Yeah.
Like the only reason he has a job is because he's a drinking buddy with Saint.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Saint's son, pretty much.
Like, I don't rate him highly at all. And like as I said in the live game discussions thing in the Discord, like if Omar God doesn't int, CLG will win pretty easily, and that's what happened. Omar God had a good series. He outclassed Shrimp, and yeah, CLG managed to win. Shrimp was basically inting a lot of those games, just randomly dying, doing random things that a jungler should not do. Sunday was basically Nilo Hell.
Yep, he was.
Feel bad for the guy. Yeah, I think Dignitess should look to get a new. I think Dignitess will make Worlds through the Gauntlet at all. I think CLG and C9 have a much better chance, despite Dick beating C9. Yeah, I just think that Shrimp is really, really bad as a jungler. Like, he was bad on Apex back when that team existed. Like, it was nothing special.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was not surprised that CLG won that at all.
Is there any really players you'd like to see them pick up instead of Shrimp, maybe?
Any Korean? Like
even Rainover?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I think Rainover Sunday would be a pretty interesting thing to see.
Oh, I'd love that.
But yeah, like, honestly, anybody would be an improvement. Fucking Moon from FlyQuest would be an improvement over Shrimp.
Gotta be careful for Zigmat.
No, I just think he's a really bad jungler.
Yeah.
There's not much more to say. He's very exploitable, and you saw that in the versus CLG. Like, every single game he got abused pretty hard.
When you get abused by Omar God, you know there's a problem, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Micromanaged. What about you, Guardian? What did you think of the EU third place game?
I mean, I didn't watch it because it was too late in my time zone.
Disgraceful.
I watched the highlights, like, you know, the Severe and Reckless, and people were hyping up like that outplay, the triple kill, the caster vice, and just hyping him up. And I mean, I don't think it was worth my time. You know, if Fnatic was fighting for third place, then it's not worth my time. I'm not a true fan. Just kidding. But it's just that I don't know. I kind of predicted Fnatic to win, but not in a 3-2. You know, like, I thought they were at least 3-1 or 3-0, but not 3-2. I don't have any hate against HTK. I actually like HTK too, but I thought they would, you know, choked again, once again in a playoffs match, but they didn't, not as much as they did previously. So which is surprising to watch. So yeah, so
What
yeah,
about the
most likely
NA
to watch the
one?
games.
If you did,
Oh, was it Dig and
Dig and CLG.
CLG? I think I watched like games 1 and 2. Omar, yeah, that's true. Said if Omar didn't int, then CLG could have taken the game, and I think, uh, I think Altec. Wait, was it Altec that was inting the game? I can't fucking remember now, but I think someone on Dig had some great plays. Oh no, someday, yeah, someday's job
Who
in
else?
like, yeah, who else would it be besides a Korean? You know, Someday's
Well,
job.
Shrimp is also Korean, so
Oh, are you sure? I thought it was Japanese.
Don't worry, King's OCE talent, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, get some OC talent. But like, anyway, someday's job. He was just trying to keep the game in alive. But I felt like at the time he was just playing solo queue. You know, like he gave up already. He was just going for the kills. He was just doing whatever he can to make sure his solo queue team doesn't die out in the next few minutes and bleed to death. But he failed. So yeah,
Okay.
I guess CLG deserved it more so than Dick because I mean, Shrimp once again, he had some great moments in the split, but then he just died down like really quickly. It kind of reminded me of watching Apex like last year. I think, yeah. To be honest, it was lackluster.
What about you, Venerbs? What was your opinions on the H2K versus Fnatic series and the CLG versus Dignitas series?
Yeah, in the Fnatic series, yeah, I think the drafts weren't that bad from Prolly. Like, aside from like, yeah, I mean, game one the draft was pretty good. They shut down the bot lane, Reckless, and also Soas.
Yep.
Soas' now was really big in game 2 and 3.
Mhm.
I mean, game 5 the game pick was stupid, but I don't know even. I mean, it didn't matter in this match, so I'm not sure if they would have done it if the match had mattered. But I mean, if you go for the record, like the other times, HK was in an important game 5, and then probably did let his players pick the champion they wanted to carry the game on. So I guess he would have, but I don't know. But like, yeah, other picks would have been much better that game. So yeah.
What about NA? What did you think of CLG versus Dignitas?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Six really told his team what to do in level 1s because 2 of 3 games they got a kill like before 2 minutes on Shrimp, so
Yeah.
those games were pretty much over then. And yeah, I mean, he drew 2 bans each game. That's like, yeah. I didn't watch too much of Dick or CLG in the regular season, so I don't know.
Who would our MVPs of the entire series be then? Who would it be for you, Joe, for Fnatic versus H2K? Would you say there's an overall MVP, or would you have to give it to a couple of different people?
Overall, probably Reckless.
Okay.
I think he played good in every single game.
Yep.
Was trying to carry even when his team was minting. I think he played just every single game really good, and that Sivir game was a highlight where he almost solo carried the game, but wasn't able to. And in the NA ones, shit, I don't know. I think Kuki played really well.
Yeah.
Kuki played really well. The bot lane for CLG did well, but yeah, if I had to pick an MVP for real, I'd give it to Shrimp. Because
giving up some free games, you know.
I can see why it's called Shrimp, because he gets eaten.
Yeah, he does. It's pretty tragic, honestly, watching Shrimp play. And Guardian, yourself? I say as a guess, you know.
Huh? I'll give it to Reckless for that EU.
Yep. Okay.
Just because he played pretty well, and he had Dog Champ in top lane and fucking inting mid, and then the jungle was kind of, you know, AFK-ish sometimes, but then he did pretty well. He you know, he solo carried some games and did really well. He did his job as an AD carry well, and for NA, I have to give it to Huhi, you know, because like this guy's been getting flack for like 2 years now or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he could rise from the dust from his like one trick days and just being playing shit at Azir and all that stuff and being looking the best player in CLG, I think he has a lot of willpower and great mentality if he can pull this off, and he deserves the MVP just because of how much effort he's put in, and he takes criticism well, and towards self development. So that's why he's the MVP too, in the NA third place match.
Well, Power V Girls did well for who he. You know what I mean? Most people struggle and underperform, but he got his, and suddenly, pang! The dirt's fucking gone. He's clean as fuck now. You know. How about some predictions for the EU Gauntlet? Who will be EU's third seed going into Worlds?
Splice.
I would say personally, I want to say Fnatic,
Go on,
but
give
I
in.
feel like God Given is gonna send his fucking bold hair spirit to Nuclear, and then Nuclear's just gonna carry the shit out of H2K.
Mm-hmm.
To make up for that series against Fnatic. I don't know.
But they won't even play each other if Splice beats them.
Haha. It's tough. It's really tough.
So you want to say Fnatic will go to Worlds?
Fuck it. I just say Fnatic. Put me on the bandwagon, coach.
And you want to say Space Herbs?
Yeah, like I think Splice played really well against G2.
Mm-hmm.
And H2K, I mean, it's high pressure game for H2K.
Never fun.
Yeah, UL is I don't know.
They're just trying to get an
That
excuse
doesn't
to
even
the
happen,
EU.
so yeah. And I think the Splice can beat Fnatic, so yeah.
What about you, Chill? What's your prediction for third place EU?
I think if UOL change their shot calling style, like back to what it was before, like week 4 or 5 of ULCS summer or something, where they just changed their shot calling style and been sucking ever since. I think they could actually have a really good chance because it looked like a really good team up until that point. Then they just changed everything for absolutely no reason. But if they don't, then I think it's going to be Splice. I think they look the best out of all these teams. H2K is going to choke and have a potato to carry. Fnatic has a scam coach. And Splice doesn't have a coach, so yeah. It's going to be Splice or Fnatic, but I think Splice has a slight edge.
Personally, I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to go on the Splice hype train as well. I think Splice will do it. You know, I think they're good against, and well, the game between G2 and them was a bit of a fiesta. I'm not gonna lie. G2 played pretty bad, but I can't tell if it was G2 playing bad or Splice playing really well. But I'm gonna give it to Splice. I feel like the players themselves have a good understanding of how they want to play. Without this sort of coach forcing things onto them is what it seemed to be. I think he'll perform pretty well. Who knows? Maybe for preparation, we'll just be watching some solo queue. You know what I mean? A bit of Legends Rising, you know, stuff like that. Maybe that's their preparation. maybe all we needed was no coach, no preparation, and no scrims. Who knows? You know. For NA, what about yourself, Herbs? Who would you predict to go third place to Worlds to NA? Sorry, go to Worlds for NA.
I mean, I want C9 to make it, but I think CLG might do it. Like they have another week to play with Oh My God, and yeah, I mean, Dignitas will probably easily beat FlyQuest, and then it's CLG against Dignitas again, and CLG showed that they can shut down Shrimp, like with the prepared level 1s they had and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I think CLG versus C9 is going to be close, but I still think that CLG will probably win it.
Okay. What about you then, Guardian? Who would you say?
I want. Let's see. Dig can scrap away for a bit. Between toss up at C9 and CLG, I don't really care any because that third seed of NA is gonna get the jungler is gonna get fucking out jungled by Shenfire from the OPL. Okay, Shenfire is gonna teach them some OC fucking Nirvana path. I swear to God, he's going to dig on NA third team and EU third team. He's going to shit on them, dude. He's the god of the jungle in OC.
Do you want to put money on
No
it?
one can contest him, dude. His hair is you can't contest his bald hairstyle. He looks like a monk. He's Buddha of OC. Okay, he's going to show the third seed teams from EU and NA why the fuck he's Shenfire, okay? But anyway, real talk.
He's gonna show the junglers how good they are, and then realize the rest of his team's inting across the board.
True. But real talk a bit. I think CLG would make it. But then again, I want to see Omar God get destroyed by Shanfire and Levi. So it'll be a pretty impressive.
Diamond Procs.
Of course.
Diamond Procs? Oh hell yeah, dude! He'll get thrown around by Diamond Procs, but then Shanfire and Levi's gonna like play ping pong with him, throwing him around the map. So I'm really expecting to see Omar God get thrashed around by OC and Garena. Let's go, boys.
What about you, Cho? Who would you like to see?
I don't know. If C9 sorts whatever issues they have internally, I think they'll take it pretty cleanly. If not, then CLG. I think they looked really strong in the third place game. So yeah, either CLG or C9.
See, now, I think there's one team that everyone's Steven out here, you know what I mean? Trigger the greatest team to grace NA. FlyQuest is here, you know. FlyQuest is
I was
here.
gonna.
FlyQuest
I
is
was
here,
thinking of that.
and High's gonna shock call them the world, you know what I mean? C9, reverse swept. G2, hello. Dignitas, reverse swept. And CLG, fucking easy, dude, you know what I mean? Just reverse sweep them, you know. In all seriousness, I think CLG will go to Worlds. I don't think Cloud9 can sort out their internal issues. Did Ray play any of the games in between them and Dig?
No.
No, I don't think so. I'm not
I
sure.
think so.
I think, I think unless they play Ray, we're going to get boned. I don't think Impact has been performing well this season. I think Ray performed a bit better at times, not all the time, mind you, but some of the time he performed better. I don't think C9 will go. I think Dignitas will be the last contender in the Like I think CLG are very last team in the Gauntlet, aren't they?
No, C9 is.
C9 is.
Oh, was
okay.
it C9? Oh, C9. Unlucky.
Okay, then I think CLG will beat Dig and CLG will beat C9 pretty single-handedly. I think it'll be a Frio.
Can I just add something in?
Yeah.
Can I just add something in, like, really quickly?
Yeah.
I want to see this NA. Whoever gets third seed from NA just to come and face OC against the mid laner Fantix, because like I want to just see them how boosted they'll be when Fantix throws them around in the fucking dust. They'll just
Oh
shit on
yeah,
them all
do
over
you
the place.
think God Who He is going to drop to some mere OCE mid laner?
Dude, Sharenfire is gonna 1v9 the fuck out of the group station planes. I'm not group station, but planes. Like, his shaved Buddha monk style hairstyle is gonna carry the whole team. OC has done it this year, boys.
I mean, it didn't
mean,
help
I'm gonna-
Forgiven versus Samsung.
To be fair,
Well,
Forgiven had Ryu inting in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, his Korean instincts, his Korean sleeper cell activated, so he was just, he just had to, for his country.
FlyQuest will sub in Remilia and win every game.
Oh yeah, but
Third seed. Easy.
Oh
Yep.
shit!
Remy, the greatest the support they've ever struck for West, you know.
Please share for my Patreon.
Please donate to cosplay. So we'll move on to, the EU LCS finals. Okay, sorry, the LCS finals. I forgot it. It just happened. Now G2 versus Misfits. We'll start with you, Joe. What did you think of that series?
It seemed like every time Misfits would get a lead, no matter how small or big, they would just throw it away by doing like really, really stupid things, like re-engaging a fight when they have no cooldowns, or just doing retarded stuff like that during the entire course of the game. It was really weird to watch. Like, I think after game one they gave up and they started picking meme champions like Rengar.
Rengar? Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, Rengar?
Why the fuck? They
And
picked
then
it
they picked-
versus UOL, didn't they?
Yeah.
They might have, yeah. And then they picked Draven. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, are you even trying at this point? And then we have PoE building his Nashor's Tooth
Two
shit.
for Oriana. Oh, Jesus, don't remind me, please. Oh,
You gotta note though that he didn't do that in game one, and he only started in game two building the
Yeah, true.
World of
It was in game
Ages
two.
stinger. So like game one they really tried, but they
Yeah.
yeah. What about you, Herbs? What do you think about finals for you?
yeah, like Alfari on tanks wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
Was pretty underwhelming. I mean, Expect's Joe was like really, really bad. The feasts he had
Yeah.
like a total of 8 stacks in game one. That was like I don't know.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
you-
if someone's
you-
seen him like
but whatever.
he
Uh,
accidentally
but-
had Maokai instead of a minion at one point. In the end.
Yeah, he always ate people with like full life to chunk them out or something, but I don't know. But even though Alfari didn't do anything against it, so unlucky.
Unfortunately.
And yeah, like game 2 and game 3, the drafts. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they tried something, so yeah. But they are qualified for Worlds either way, so it doesn't really matter.
True, true. What about you, Guardian? What did you think of the EU finals if you watched it?
I mean, game one, it was like already at 1:30 a.m. or some shit like that. So I watched a bit of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think did Misfits even get a lead in game one? I can't remember. Like it was so hasted out, but
They did.
I went.
It was a
Yeah,
small
I
lead.
went to. Okay, I went to bed. Just before game two started, but then I woke up to go to the toilet, and then I saw Rengar on my phone, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be fucking 3-0, then it's over. And then I woke up like a few hours ago, and then I saw a tweet saying Draven was picked for Hunt. I was like, okay, that means Misfit got completely dicked on. They was started trolling, so it was a 3-0. So I don't know, it wasn't really impressive. The finals was really lackluster. Like I felt like there could have been a better finals, but I don't know which teams would suffice my expectations. But definitely that was a bit of a lackluster final. So yeah.
I'm just gonna put it out there that I never lost faith that you two would get to the finals now, simply because the biggest hack in 2017, as for next to Dagon, told me at Rift Rivals, my boy Weldon Green, G2 will make finals, and he looked me in the eyes and he told me, and I looked at that man's eyes, you know what I seen? Passion, hard work, motivation, everything that OG tweet said, and I knew.
Teamwork, improvement.
Motivation, you know, I seen all those in his eyes, and I knew G2 would make finals. Didn't matter what got in the way, I knew, but they would make it. And I can safely say, I was not disappointed. I placed faith in the green, and the green gave back to me. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, the NA finals now. This series, Immortals threw so much away. Like, I thought they were having a car boot sale on fucking Froze. Like, they were just handing them out to everyone. Just go take it. What was your opinion on this series, Guardian?
I mean, I woke up, I think game 2, I think, or game 3.
Mhm.
Oh, game 3. I woke up for game 3, and yeah, okay. I don't know what happened. It was a few hours ago, but I can't even remember what happened because it was just so garbage, trash tier region. But then game 3, I think yes, I can't fucking remember. But then game 4 was etched in my mind, like the 7-0 up, and the 10k gold lead for Immortals, and then they managed to fuck that up in the last team fight when I think Ole was an Alistar or something like that, or like Rakan, he decided to engage.
Alistair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone else, I don't know how, but who was Bifrost playing game
Rakan.
4?
Yeah, Biofrost was playing Rakan and Svenskeren was the Gragas, and they CC'd Cody Sun to death. in that
That's the
one
one.
fight.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, that team fight. The moment that happened, yeah, okay. TSM won again. Another fucking TSM trash hype up world video. So yeah, I don't know.
What about you, Venture? What do you think of that series?
I sort of got like the NALCS finals every year get shittier and shittier.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every
Can't
year.
disagree. Yeah.
It's like every time I watch this, I'm like, wow, this is bad. It's like TSM doesn't win because they're good. They win because the other team is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this is just, Immortals pissed me off this game really, really hard. Like
Yeah.
the game 3, it was a game 3 where they picked Jinx, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
That draft was horrible. Why would you pick Jinx second? What? That makes no sense. I know. Like, if you're gonna pick Jinx, you could just take a Sejuani. You could have taken Jarvan Sejuani, and that would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
And then pick Jinx later. Not gonna ban Jinx, and he probably didn't even know we were gonna pick Jinx. And they picked Tom Kench as well.
Also, Xayah was open.
They picked Tom Kench, and no less Tom Kench was terrible in my opinion. Like, there were multiple times he could have devoured his teammates, and he just never did. It was really, really bad. And then the highlight of his career, there was that fight around Elder.
Mm-hmm.
That Immortal started because it's smart to start Elder Dragon versus a fucking Cho'Gath.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
They started, and then like Bjergsen got that good Orianna ult, and I rewatched the replay. And do you know what Ole did in that T fight?
Nope.
He used his Q. Like, he's standing right next to his
my
fucking
God.
Jinx. He's standing right next to his Jinx. He uses his Q. He hits nothing, and the Jinx died. Like, if he just didn't press Q, he would have seen the animation go off from like Orianna's ulti. He would have been able to devour the Jinx.
Thanks. Yep.
And then they could have kept fighting. But he Qs nothing. He Q'd nothing. That was one of the most retarded things I have ever seen a pro player do ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched League of Legends for quite some time. That was like baffling levels of bad. I do think that like Wars would have lost that fight anyway because TSM got elder.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. As soon as I started Elder, I was telling myself, what the fuck am I doing? Like this, there's a Cho'Gath right here, and then it just backed off it as well. Just walked away completely, and let Cho'Gath walk up in the mega range of it, and I was just...
Yeah, speaking, I think this was the game where like Immortals did Baron, and like they're doing Baron, and Cho'Gath's coming. He's coming. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna get Baron. And he doesn't go on Baron. Like Hanser went, and he like went on someone. I forgot
Yeah,
who.
he did. Yeah. Did you see? There was a fly. There was a point as well where he just like we're sitting sieging Bot Tower, and he just flash out these Jinx with GA.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
and just one shots her from about 3/4 health.
Yeah, and then in game 4, where like, where they picked Zaya, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was that fight around Baron, where Cody-san ulted,
Mhm.
and there are feathers on the ground, and I'm like, this is
and
it.
he didn't push she.
Yeah, he's gonna press E. He's gonna kill like 2 or 3 people because they're real low and that does retarded levels of damage, like really strong.
Mhm.
He doesn't E. He flashes away. I'm like, why? How do you breathe? How do you put on your socks in the morning? Like that's. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and assume it was on cooldown. That's what I'm gonna say. But that was really bad. But yeah, just Immortals, like they get a lead, then they throw. They get a lead, then they throw.
Mhm.
And it's like that every time I watch someone play TSM in
Yeah.
NA. They get a lead, then they throw. Like, I don't know. Like, this was a really bad series overall in terms of quality. I think both teams looked really bad.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that NA better improve a lot in the boot camp. Otherwise, if they make it out of groups,
But Joe,
gonna be surprised.
they won at Rift Rivals. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
If we're gonna win, we're gonna win Worlds. I think G2 who beat SK. They took one game off SK. Hello, like the greatest accomplishment known to man. You know.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. TSM will win Worlds easily.
Yeah.
Reverse sweep Longzhu.
Them and China, WE and TSM and Worlds finals. Good man.
Top 4 at Worlds for sure.
What about you, Yerbs? What did you think about series?
Well, my internet dropped out somewhere in between game 1 and I couldn't watch game 2, but...
That's how bad the games were.
I mean, game 1, it's like... Yeah, you blind pick the Cho'Gath with the knob. It's like, not that good. You shouldn't do that. And I mean, Biofrost played Rakan like 3 games out of 4, so I don't know why that would happen. You shouldn't let that happen. I assume game 2 TSM lost because Zac got shut down and they have a Kassadin, so yeah, he got shut down.
Was there anything in that series that is there any player you would like to put particular blame on for that a series of events? Would you say it was, or give credit to? Sorry, would you say Biofrost set them up for a lot, or would you say it was maybe Xmiffy missing a few keys to Johnny Hogs, or would you say it's Cody's son's strong positioning in the late game? You know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the coach of the split really outdrafted Party. I don't know. Like, you shouldn't give over Rakan 3 times in a series. That's like, in game 4 you could see it, they were like 7-0 and 10k up, so... And then the Rakan engage, the perfect one, comes in and, yeah, the game is lost, so, yeah, you shouldn't do that.
I forgot to ask us, but who would be your MVP for the EU finals then? This is the all 3 of you. We'll start with you, Cho.
My MVP, either Zwen or Perks.
Okay.
I think they both played really well. Zwen didn't die at all in the finals. First player to do that.
Mm-hmm.
In the LCS finals. But I think Perks had a really good game as well. Like his LeBlanc was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, one of the 2.
What about you, Guardian? Who did you think would be?
Was this EU?
Yeah. Just based on highlights, you know.
I'll just say Sven.
Okay.
ADC bias, no doubt. I mean, I saw a bit of the highlights. His position was pretty good. His team fight was good. He output quite a bit of damage too. So ADC bias, I'll give it to Sven.
What would you say, Herbs, was the MVP of the LCS finals?
Oh, no, of course not. Yeah, Sven was like, yeah, he was 10-0-19 or something ridiculous.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Sven is really good.
I'm gonna throw it out here. I'm gonna stick it down as Trick. Now, you may say to yourself, wait, why the fuck would you choose Trick? Aquabot himself. Okay. There was at one point where GT were pushing bot lane where they sent LeBlanc and Cho'Gath to go push bot. Sorry, no, LeBlanc and fuck, I can't remember who X-Pac was playing. But basically they were going down
Cho'Gath?
to
Cho'Gath?
it may
Or
be
which game?
game. I'm gonna actually. I'm pretty sure it was game one. But no, it was the game
Yeah,
one. Perks
it was
played LeBlanc.
LeBlanc and Cho'Gath.
LeBlanc and Cho'Gath. At one point, Perks makes a run for bot lane. Trick is playing Jarvan, and Misfits immediately start Baron. After a bit of clowning around by Misfits and taking a bunch of free poke, they start to recall him back off, but Trick actually flash outs into them and EQs out so they don't get the recalls off and they don't get the chance to go back to stop the inhib push. So I'm going to give it to that just because it was a play but I actually remember very well from the game and saying, wow, brother Trick didn't actually int, you know what I mean? He must have been good this month, you know. Also because of the fact he did track, I think he tracked Maxor pretty well. I felt like he put more pressure on the Maxor for most of the series. I felt he spread his pressure out evenly, while Maxor was basically Camperino, Midorino, you know. Just sit fucking mid lane. As soon as Trick showed his face in mid that one time to start for the cheese level 2 gank, Maxor did not leave mid for the rest of the game pretty much. I can see why he has that, 27% jungle proximity, I think. Has in EU or something, towards mid lane. But yeah, I'd give it the Trick, you know what I mean, my boy. What about NA? Who would your MVP be for NA, Cho?
I don't fucking know, dude. Nobody's my MVP for NA. That was not particularly good. Like, I don't know. I guess Bifrost had good engages on the Rakan. But it's very easy to get good engages when people group and have really bad positioning. Like in the last game, I think it was when Pobelter played Lucian. He had no flash and he positioned like a clown, like really far forward, which is just a free engage for any player that's remotely decent. I guess he played okay. Doublelift played okay. It's like TSM played okay. That's the best I can say about this series. So yeah, TSM is my MVP.
I'm going to actually give... I'm just going to quickly throw my MVP because it's actually rated to TSM. I would actually throw it to Hunter's water bottle for spilling on the keyboard and causing a pause, so that I could get
Fucking rigged, dude.
So I could get
It's rigged.
So I could get about 20-30 seconds to go get food because I needed some popcorn to watch this fucking fiesta, this fucking zoo escape live on camera. What about you, Guardian? Who would you have chosen for your MVP?
I don't fucking know either. I mean, I didn't watch game 1 and 2. I watched game 3 and 4, and 3 was a fiesta. 4 was a fucking fiesta. I mean, Bifrost got the MVP of the overall series, but I don't know. I mean, and he's gonna get fucking trashed anyway, so I don't really have to give my MVP vote. So.
What about you, Van Herbs? Who would you say was your MVP?
Yeah, Bifrost. But I guess, yeah, Song really gave Bifrost Rakan for 3 times. That's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty XD.
Actually, I'm gonna give it to Xmithy. I just realized I think he played really well in every single game. Sometimes he went a bit too deep and had bad positioning, but I think he was a big key as to like when Immortals got a lead, it was because of Xmithy.
Yeah,
like his Sejuani was really good. It's just a shame that Immortals wasn't able to capitalize on it. But yeah, I think Xmithy was the MVP despite losing. He had a really good performance.
Could we'll move on to our last topic before Q&A then. The EULCS shit show, also known as H2K's int getter, you know, H2K's Dunzo manifesto, pretty much. Where H2K have said they have lost 2 million in running costs over the past 2 years, I think, of LCS.
Yeah.
I want to gather some opinions on that. What do you think of this, Guardian? What do you think of this?
Can you ask Cho? Because I think Cho's got more knowledge about this.
You hit me with this.
Yeah.
Cho, hit me with the knowledge.
So about ELCS, I think ELCS has been mismanaged ever since Season 3 summer by Riot EU. And, you know, NA fans like to say, like, oh, it's not Riot NA making decisions for Riot EU, it's Riot EU.
Yeah.
They're autonomous. And I'm like, okay. use this logic. You have like a big company, right? Your headquarters is in NA, and you have branches in like Korea, Europe, China, Taiwan, whatever the fuck. And then you see that one of your branches in Europe is being run by a donkey. It's literally being mismanaged. It's losing money. It's not doing anything. Don't you like get the idea that maybe you should fire the guy running the branch, get some new people in office? So like the way I look at it, NA is like Riot NA. The main headquarters is at fault for what's happening in Riot EU either way, regardless. Like if you believe Riot EU is autonomous, which are not.
Yeah.
Like ever since season 3, Riot EU has been fucking EU, or Riot has been fucking EU. Like let's list a few things. Changing the schedule. They randomly changed the schedule for when it was like summer. It was either season 4 or season 3 summer. I don't remember.
Yep.
But EU got more viewers than NA. In season 3. Then they changed the schedule, and viewers have been tanking. I wonder why that is. They said they wanted to attract more international viewers. That's bullshit. Nobody's gonna get up at 8 a.m. like Pacific time to watch EU LCS. It's not like it's LCK or anything. Then they had another brilliant idea, which was to move their studios from Cologne to Berlin. And that resulted in losing 2 of their best casters, which was Joe Demon and Miller. Joe Miller and D-Man. Fuck, I'm tired. Joe Miller got a job at ESL, some high-ranking job, and D-Man didn't want to leave because of his girlfriend. And then they broke up. Good choice.
Yep. Where's mom?
Yeah, like he actually tried to apply for NALCS casting, like
right.
a few. Yeah, I think it was last year or something, but he got rejected. Yeah, no coming back. But so then they moved to Berlin. That was an interesting decision. Then they, because the ULCS was in Germany, they screwed over Gambit multiple times with visa issues. Like when they hosted the EULCS, I think it was just a regular week or something, or maybe semis. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but it was in Berlin. Oh, no, sorry, it was in London.
Yep.
It was in Wembley Arena or something. Gambit had to use like 3 out of 5 subs, or maybe even 4 out of 5. I don't even remember like Edward playing, because they couldn't get visas. Then they screwed Gambit over yet again with that infamous remake versus SK Gaming in season 4, which completely tilted Gambit off the face of the earth, which was such a bullshit remake decision that just, to this day, I don't know who made that choice, and I hope that guy was fired, because that was really, really tragic.
Yep.
Then moving on, we have the infamous best of 2 versus best of 3 incident, where Riot decided to give NA best of 3 and Riot and EU best of 2. Why did they give Riot EU best of 2? Because football. Yep. You know, Europeans love ties, and that was their reasoning. Good job, Riot.
Yep.
And like at that point, I was like, all right, this is it. EU pros are gonna stand up. They're gonna voice their opinions. They're gonna boycott Riot. They're gonna do something, because they were bitching on Twitter quite a lot.
Yep.
And I'm like, they're gonna do something. They didn't.
Nope.
And okay, Riot changed that to best of 3 finally, but then they introduced the group system.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
That is a very good choice. I'm really glad they did that. And the final thing I can remember is not having a proper arena. Like Riot NA or NALCS got a brand new arena, really fancy and shit. And Riot EU still has a like shitty one where it's like a cage. The audience is in a cage like a bunch of animals.
Yeah, you're in a cage pretty much.
Like what the fuck is that? Like still no arena. I think they said it was gonna be open for Summer Split, but it isn't. I don't know why. It's like Riot EU has been screwing over EU players and EU teams for a very long time. It's like there's a show in the United States called Cops. Maybe you've heard of it, and it basically follows police officers all over America. And the best episodes are the ones where they go to like redneck countries, like Alabama states, like Alabama or Mississippi, for example. And usually the best episodes are the one where we get like a domestic dispute call, and they go into this house, and there's like this fucking redneck motherfucker, like really fat, with a bloody pipe in his hand. There's a bloody pipe, and his wife is like lying down bleeding, and the officer asks, "What's going on here? What's happening?" And the wife's like, nothing, I still love him, don't take me away. And that's basically, like, the fat redneck motherfucker is Riot NA, and the wife is Riot EU and EU teams and EU players. And, like, these teams never complained before. Like, these teams never complained up until this point, where money started trickling in. They saw that NA LCS is franchising, right? There's a lot of money to be made, and then they're like, well, haha, we should get in on that. We want some money. We want some shekels for our efforts. And And then they like HDK especially, they make this letter to the community. They're like, we care about the well-being of EULCS. I'm like, motherfucker, where were you when I just like during the incidents I just listed?
Yeah.
Where were you when the schedule was changed? Where were you when EULCS moved from Cologne to Berlin?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you when the format was not good with the best of twos for EU with the group system?
Yep.
None of you said anything. None of these teams said anything about these changes that were killing and ruining EULCS.
Mm-hmm.
But now suddenly they see money and they're like, oh no, like we care about EULCS. It is in our hearts.
Yep.
EULCS fans, we want to stay in your region. I'm like shut the fuck up. Like there's nothing wrong about caring about money,
Mm-hmm.
but like at least come out and say you care about money. You know, like
Yeah.
say we want money. We don't care about EULCS. We don't care if we're EU or NA. We just want money. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But like don't give me this saint attitude that you care about the state of EULCS when you were silent when people were getting screwed left and right, whether it be the entirety of like EOCS pros or Gambit, for example. Like
Yeah.
nobody said anything when Gambit got screwed over.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think like teams are extremely hypocritical right now in EOCS.
Yeah, as well as that, I feel like teams are definitely making more money than they say they do. Like, here's to get like Address have 2 million in losses. If you can tell me you can afford to run a team with 2 million in losses every year, you're a bit off the fucking wall. I think they might have had 2 million in losses, not including sponsorship income and other forms of income. Maybe if they took their income directly from the league and then translated into their actual, profit margin, you'd be making less. You'd be making like, the 2 million stat would make sense. But I can't see how a team could say we're making a million in losses a year and continue to run a team at that rate, without making any cutbacks or anything, if you know what I mean.
If I can just
Yep,
interject
go
a
ahead.
bit, HK is venture capitalist funded,
Yeah.
so they do have quite a bit of money behind them.
But I mean, beforehand though as well, if you know what I mean. It's still a
Okay,
case
yeah,
of,
that's true, yeah.
Teams. Why would there be teams investing in it still if they didn't think? Like, I mean, Schalke's not going to say to themselves, "Shit, we get maybe 500 extra fans or something, from our playing in Challenger." Rather than just ban a straight up EULCS shot, stuff like that, or Nip even, they'd prepared to go to Challenger and bought the slot, but did like no PR work at all. A lot of these teams seem to just be expecting free fucking money. If you know what I mean, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
At least with a franchising, you can see which teams are dedicated to do it because all of them now have video series of their fucking teams. So all of them have started producing content about their teams. FlyQuest even make a fucking series, and when FlyQuest are making a documentary series on their team, shit's going down and that they want in.
Yeah.
But it's a case of European teams just need to grow up, if you know what I mean. Like a bunch of secondly applied DNA, and we're just like, oh guys, no, we're not actually applying DNA. Come on, it was just a joke to stand up to Ratty you. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what Splace or Misfits are definitely going to end up in NA. I can see one of the two end up in NA.
Yeah.
Fnatic and G2 Ratty you won't let go. Like, that would fuck over the league too much.
It's right, EU, but they just might.
Yeah, they might, who knows, maybe a bit of a prank, you know what I mean? Oh, wait, if we get rid of G2, the Fnatic fans will be happy again, and then we make it more stream viewers. Quick, send G2 to NA. That would be the kind of thinking that I could see them having. EU just seems like a bit of a fucking fiesta right now with money and such. The best part was actually, I can remember the Davis News had posted about the Fnatic article. I can remember one of the Fnatic Discord officials trying to defend it, saying, "Oh, if you guys all knew the internals in the scene, you'd understand we couldn't stand up to Red and stuff." And you're just like, right, you'll get a bad rep, but it literally NA did this, right? All of them said we want franchising, and look where it got them. And then Rad EU says, they're saying, "Oh, we can't stand up to Rad EU." Okay, what's the biggest threat Rad EU can give to you? Legitimately, you know what I mean? What is the biggest threat they can give you? We're gonna fan you for shit talking us. It's not that bad. Like, none of the NA teams got found, and even if it did get found, the community would be so fucking pissed about it that it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
The European teams just need to fucking man the fuck up and grow as fame.
Yeah, but as I said, they didn't care until
Yeah.
money started becoming an issue, and
Yeah.
then they started caring about the state of EULCS. When EU has been getting fucked in the ass for like, how long has it been? 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Since 2013. So like, yeah, I just don't know. I think that if EU kept the same schedule it did since like season 3,
Mm-hmm.
it would have more viewers than NA. I am 100% sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Riot just realizes that more and more big names are investing into NALCS. These venture capitalist organizations and NBA teams and shit.
Yeah.
And it's much easier for them to invest in NA because they're based in NA.
Yeah.
They're not like it's harder for them to invest in EU, and EU has this logistical problem where it's like a bunch of different countries speaking different languages. So like from a business standpoint, I can't really blame Riot for favoring NA.
Yep.
But from a competitive integrity standpoint, I can blame Riot NA because it's like Riot used to talk about how the LCS leagues are the same, how they're like treated the same, and that was true for a short time. Like they had the same stage, the same format, the same everything, and then they just started shafting one and favoring the other, and that's not how you run a league, really. Like it wouldn't surprise me if Riot EU just kills the LCS, just like.
What do you mean? Actually, bring in this fucking regional league system and
it would not surprise me. Like
it
I
wouldn't
don't
surprise me.
just take LCS and move it to the US and make like East Coast or Eastern Conference and Western Conference.
Or if we're gonna unite EU and NA into one region, just make it the West, you know.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me. Like Riot, you don't know what they're doing a lot of the time, and who knows what the future holds for EU? Because like you don't need franchising necessarily in order to be profitable. You know, it's like all these teams claim how they're like we're afraid of investing in EU LCS because then we might get relegated. Like look at NIP. I'm like, don't run your team like fucking idiots and you won't get relegated. This is not nuclear science. Look at UOL, for example. They've been here since like season 4 where they beat Millennium in the promotion tournament. They're still here because they run their team competently. You know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Someone in chat, someone Kevin said they could remove their LCS, got him played off as some bullshit if it's only one team complaining about it, pretty much. But it's a case of like, you would see that happen, and all the other team, like it's a case of if one team's going to complain about it, the rest most likely will. Like if like imagine Rat just took HGK Scalaray right now, and we're like, oh, we're banned for cheating people out of money. Like, no one would believe it for starters, you know. And the players would probably say something like, I can't imagine the players or the teams themselves being able to say, you know, I can't imagine, especially with teams like HGK or the lower tier teams like Rocket saying, oh, you know, what do they really have to lose if they're losing this much money, if you know what I mean? Surely the Scott won't mean that much to them if they're losing this much money at this given time. So
it's not even like it's only H2K complaining.
Yeah,
like,
it's out of the
I
teams.
mean, it got leaked that like, these 4 teams applied to NALCS, like that's a thing. So yeah, just like conveniently the NA letter last year got leaked. Like,
yeah, conveniently, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
that was totally happened by accident. Yeah.
The teams could pressure Rad if they wanted to. It's just a case of now there's money involved, lots of money involved, and the
But the thing is,
yeah, but I mean, you would kick like half the EU LCS by this point, and then you have like I don't know. I mean, I guess you would have Red Bull and Paris Saint-Germain and Schalke in the LCS then, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that like teams have more power than they realize, especially in the LCS. If they just stood up to Riot, they could get what they want. You know, it's like Riot cares a lot about their press, about their image and how they look, especially how their esports division looks. And you know, if you know you see news headlines, entirety of Riot EU's League of Legends League boycotts their organizations. It creates or boycotts the owners. It creates a pretty bad impression, like for the general esport audience or the general audience. So yeah, I think teams have more power than they realize. They just didn't really. It wasn't an issue, as I said. It wasn't an issue until money came into play. And then
I mean,
it
could also be that the EU LCS owners are not that close together like the NA LCS owners. Like in NA, you have like here Steve and Jack and Reggie, like really close friends, and in EU, I don't even know if there's any group like this. So
Fnatic and G2 are literally like partially tied from investors. So
yeah, but I mean, still, like
I know,
NA got their shit together and they wrote this letter as like 9 teams together, and in EU it's like 4 teams applied to NA and H2K did this weird letter thing, and I don't know.
Someone in chat said, well, if they boycott EU LCS, would they not be down more money if the LCS actually stops?
I mean, they would. Like, I mean, You either leave League of Legends and you stop bleeding money, or you make a change and you start getting more money. Like, it's pretty simple. Like, it's more difficult for orgs like HTK because they have like a League of Legends team and that's it.
Yeah, they don't have a
Like,
league team.
maybe a COD team. I'm not sure. I think
Yeah, they have a
team,
COD
actually.
team actually. It's pretty okay COD team.
Yeah, but it's like if you're bleeding money and you go to the fucking persons in charge and you're like, all right, we need changes. If you don't make changes, you pull out of the league, and you just stop bleeding money. You're not gonna get any money back, but at least you stop the bleeding. You know, like if something is not profitable, you won't continue to invest in it. It just makes no sense. It's a stupid business decision.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Riot is profitable. Look at teams like Schalke, or PSG.
But wasn't
investing
there
in.
Barcelona? I think it was one of the football clubs that bought a challenger team for like maybe 10,000 or something.
That was Sevilla.
Yeah, I think they bought a team for 10,000 or something and sold it for 75.
I don't know if they sold it. I know Sevilla had like a team in the Spanish league.
Yeah.
Or no, Valencia. Sorry, Valencia. That was the
I
team.
definitely remember someone buying one for stupidly cheap and selling it for a stupid amount of money. I can definitely remember that. So do, because I remember reading it and being like, "Fuck's sake," you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely money to be made there. Even if I swap to a regional league system, they're still gonna make money from local communities and stuff. Like, you
Yeah.
know, you can kill off your ULCS, sure, but like, like, you're still gonna get money either way, really, from regional leagues. Regional leagues
Nah,
quite a bit of
I
money.
think the Spanish league is a big exception. Like it's pretty much the only one of these national leagues that's big. I think.
Yeah, it's really popular.
Yeah, ESL isn't like I know ESL is a bit of a fucking meme, like straight up. ESL is pretty shitty production and such, but they still make a decent amount of money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like EU has a lot of potential to be a good money-making region, especially with these football clubs showing interest in esports, and it's just a shame that Riot EU or Riot NA, whoever you want to believe, is mismanaging the region this
Yeah.
hard. It's
Yeah.
quite sad to see, but it is what it is.
Thank you.
Like EU is either gonna get franchised or it's gonna get fucked. Like that's the way I see the EU's future.
Yeah.
They don't even need franchising. They just need
Yeah, no, I know.
revenue sharing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think also that's all the teams want, really, to be honest.
I mean, football clubs are right interesting. See, someone class says Terry never seen CS:GO. Football clubs aren't right interested in CS:GO because it's a bit inconsistent in terms of how much money you'll make. Like,
But it's not even that. It's like violence.
yeah, it's
Like
various
it's
too,
it's
yeah.
different when you invest in like a cartoon game like StarCraft or League of Legends, where it's cartoon violence and it's
Yeah, that's also what the Schalke investors said at the
Yeah.
beginning.
like it's kind of risky to invest in a league or a game that has like hardcore violence, people's heads getting blown the fuck off and bombs. It's like why if there's a esport that's gonna be in like the Olympic Games, it's probably gonna be League of Legends.
Yeah,
I mean, did you guys see the statement by the Olympia guy? Like the Olympia head decider, Bach or whatever he's called. He's like that esports won't get to Olympia because it's too much violence and stuff like that. It's, stupid.
I mean, chess can be pretty brutal, dude. You ever seen those nets get fucking knocked over, dude? Fuck.
Yeah.
Brutal murder. I know. I was just specifically referring to League of Legends ESL in the UK, just for reference. Also, Aatrox has more of a blood effect than CS:GO. Just saying. But it's a case of guns and vegans more so. Playing in the first person perspective, and terrorists and counter terrorists is kind of not particularly good for your audience. While League is rated PG-13 and CS:GO is rated 15, I think.
Yeah, League is cartoon violence,
Yeah.
basically.
Really age rating. I should check age rating of yeah, I think CS:GO is rated. Yeah, it's rated M for mature, so it is. Yeah, it's 18.
Yeah.
So it
So
is.
I don't know. We'll see what the future has for EULCS.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to the Q&A then, I guess. So, well, I think that's all the topics covered, unless you guys have anything else you want brought up at the end.
I'd say that's about it.
Okay. Pound actually submitted me a question earlier in the DM, so he
Okay.
did. Hold on, let me find it. Kuro, Kazan / Kuro in the mid lane would they be a lot stronger? I think this was. Sorry, Pound. What was this directed to?
OKT Roadster.
Yeah, KT.
He said like Kuzan Kuro mid,
Yeah.
of them, and Teddy ADC.
Yeah. What do you guys think of it? Because
I mean, I don't like Kuro, so yeah.
the LCK user and the player, or just the the player.
Yeah, both.
What about you, Chu? What do you think about change?
I mean, this could work, sure. Just depends on how well the team gels together. Like you've seen many super teams being formed that like KT that didn't really work out for various reasons. Like you can have good players, but if you don't synergize well and have a good coaching staff, it just doesn't matter. This isn't season 2, where you can get like top 10 or top 5 ranked people in EU or NA and make a good team and go stomp people. This league has evolved to a point where individual skill matters very little as compared to like macro and knowing wave management and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it could work. It just depends on how well the players gel together.
What about you, Guardian? What do you think of it?
Same reason as Churbat, the solo queue plays and all that stuff. I think Kuro will probably bring more than Crown ever did. I think Crown's playstyle was also kind of selfless to the fact that he would leave mid lane to roam up and get top or bot lane ahead. But I think they spent more. I think they KT also allocates a bit more resources to pawn as compared to when Kuro was on Rock's Tigers. And I think if Kuro is like the best mid laner with for like low resources, and then I think they could make it work somehow. And if they focus on giving most of the resources to bot lane or top, and Kuro can manage himself, like self-management, then I think KT might do well.
Yeah, I agree.
What would you
As
get?
for Kuzan,
Yeah.
as for Kuzan, I don't know. I feel like I see Mickey when he plays sometimes. It not as inconsistent as Mickey, but I kind of see Mickey when he plays. Like he can be really fucking good with all these engages and all that. His laning phase is alright, but sometimes he would just drop off completely. Like has no relevance in the game. So that was from experience of watching him over the past few years. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, here's a question for you, Guardian. In regards to your, we answered the question by Pound. That was pretty much about it. What do you think, Guardian, of OCE's chances at Worlds here? Do you think we're going to
Who
get
the
legitimately
fuck said this, huh?
No.
Who the fuck said
This is from me, Guardian. This is from me. You know.
Did I mean, the moment you see Shenfire walk through this fucking plane doors in China, right? You better step the fuck away. He's playing in his home ground. He's got that Chinese pride. He's got that fucking noodle sauce smell on him. Just step the fuck back, okay? The moment Shenfire walks into that plane's door, just fuck off, you know? You got nothing against it. He's just way too good. He's just Nirvana Pathra no C. He will carry OC.
Would you say he's more of a clear love or an NOXG?
Dude, I would rate him
Or NOXG?
better than... Wait, who's the best jungler right now? At the moment?
In the world?
Yeah.
Don't know. Actually, that's a good question. Let's see.
I mean, you put him against Shen and Shen would just...
you know.
Broxa? Oh, dude. Shen would shit on Broxa all over the place. He'll just play ping pong with Broxa's abs and muscles, dude. Legit, just dismantle him piece by piece. Shen is way too good of a... He's just... Oh, what a god. My idol. Nah, just realistically, I've had probably 5% for OC.
5%? That's pretty...
Is that pretty high for OC? So probably
that's high. That's really high.
How well Darren Williams doing last time? Was it Darren Williams who played in
it was Chiefs, right? It was
Chiefs. Was it Chiefs or Darren Williams?
Chiefs!
Was it Chiefs or
Divers made it to the World's group stage.
And didn't they get fucking pancaked?
Oh no, sorry, not group stage. Yeah, Chiefs got cut by Bangkok's Titans because remake, like they were, but then they got completely cut by one remake, and then they started Tilt factoring. And Chiefs has been representing OCE for the past 3 years now for Worlds, the wildcards. And I mean, the first 2 years was pretty shit when I first started watching them, and then last year we like they were in semifinals, top 4, but then Tilt factor, and yeah.
What do we think of the what's the team Frozen move or cut on?
1907
Fenerbahce.
What do we think of that? How do we think he'll actually do? Do we think Move
Dude,
is actually
Move.
do you think Move will actually have got his hand back?
Dude, Move's gonna shit on everybody, dude. It's Move.
Yeah, dude, after UOL, definitely, you know. When you get kicked off
After getting benched, yeah, exactly. He's gonna come for dude.
Got kicked
He's
off
too
for
good.
sexy. The man who looks
Yup,
like a woman,
okay.
you know.
God damn it! Don't talk about traps now, dude.
We're not going to. What is your? Well, we'll try to stay away from like words predictions. You know, save that for another day. You know.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any points they'd like to bring up, Velocity? Any questions for the rest of us, or is that us clear?
Any more Q and A's or something like that?
I mean, do you have any for each other? You know. I'll take that as a no. Looking at my invisible.
No. Yeah.
We'll call it an episode then. You know, I mean, I'd say we had a decent time on this one. Covered a bunch of good, well-rounded topics. You know, a bit of unbiased in it. You know. Just remember
I
our
think
boy
that
Rip Rot.
was Okay, cool.
we'll call it an episode here. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
watching, guys. For the second episode of the LCK podcast, it'll be on YouTube. Next time we should have Jason here, who can actually do overlays and run a stream correctly. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Say
Bye.
goodbye,
Yeah,
everyone.
bye.
Bye.
See you next time.